Hello and welcome to episode 111 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, the one, the only, Purdy McPert Jerkum.
It's beginning to look a lot like
Jerkmas.
And why I mean that is when this episode goes out, it's November, which is insane, which means that pretty soon it'll be Thanksgiving, which means that we will have the Jingle Bell theme song after Thanksgiving, going into Christmas, which then we will have our patented Christmas episode where we open up gifts for each other. And then, after that, it's like a week or something, 2 weeks until PAX.
And
Boosh!
then, after that, we've got Resident Evil 2.
Oh.
The good times keep rolling, baby.
Yep. And then after that, yeah,
it'll be
E3
something before we know
it.
it.
Yeah. And then a little bit after that, we're back to November.
Woo, yes, yeah, it's all
Which is the funny thing is that it's all true. Like everything we just said, it's like time goes by so fast. It's crazy, you know?
Yeah, it sure does.
It's crazy.
It sure
Episode 111.
3 ones on the board.
3 ones.
Too bad it wasn't
Skadoosh.
episode 666. It'd be perfect for Halloween. Only 10 more years, give or take.
Man, just think, yeah, I'll be like almost 40.
Yeah, I have like little perts running around.
That's funny. Yep. But yeah, we got a huge and packed show today. So packed that we should probably just get straight into it. We got a bunch of games we've been playing, eShop, YouTube, Saloon, news, and listener mail. So we got lots
more
to do.
Listener mail?
We sure did, yeah. This is me telling you right now that we got some. I just put it in.
I like it, man.
Yep.
We love our listener mail, so I'm down with that.
Yeah, we do.
But I guess, yeah, let's get right on into the meat and potatoes. And
all right. Well, first, actually,
yeah. let's nosh on some bread and butter.
Wait, I still got to figure out what I want to eat. Let's just order an appetizer.
Yeah. Well, they always supply you with some warm bread and some butter to hold you over, you know?
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to do a quick bite on a new game coming out called, which, is there an embargo? No, this is already.
Yeah, right? I don't even know.
Hold on. Let me just check real quick.
Jimmy.
I don't think there is. They didn't.
I'm pretty sure they're already out, no? Or close to. I'm looking at November 6th for Full Metal Furies.
I see no embargo, so I'm going to talk about it. And that is Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy. So it's a roguelike because it's actually a Rogue Legacy. See,
I mean, if it's got the name in there, it has to be, right?
Yeah, I assume so. So, yeah, so this is an interesting game. Apparently quite a hit when it came out. I don't exactly know when it came out, but people were talking about it a lot, like it's a good game. And it's coming out kind of with tandem with another game, which I can't remember.
Full Metal Furies.
That's right, Full Metal Furies.
At first,
that's right.
When I first saw it, I thought it was Full Metal Furries. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I wonder what that game's about. I could talk a little bit about that game as a nice little quick bite as well after you're done here.
All right, cool. Well, essentially, Rogue Legacy is kind of, to me, and I think you might have even said that Justin said something like this, but it's like a stepping stone to Dead Cells.
Yeah, and that's why I was like you
an
might like this
in-between.
game.
Yeah, and I might like this game. And so it has really cute pixel art. And it's, yeah, just think about Dead Cells. You kind of start at the same spot. You have, every time you spawn with a new character that you can get that has different traits and different stuff. And then you, like, so they call them your heir. So, like, for instance, like, one named, Lady Winry, the Paladin. And she's a Paladin class, pretty good at everything, has a Guardian Shield special. And then, like, there's traits, like hers is a dwarfism. You never get to ride roller coasters. That's what it says.
Oh, no. It sounds terrible.
Yep, you're an endomorph. You're so heavy, enemies can't knock you back. And then your spell is Conflux, which when you press A, it launches orbs that bounce everywhere. So, like I said, there's just tons and tons and tons of different ones. They're all different. So it's pretty cool. And there's like family trees of people, and they all change. They all have their own little sprite controls. And then you also have like an upgrade, like castle, like this, like it's like this castle thing where you can upgrade and purchase and upgrade your traits. Like for instance, like you can turn your knights into paladins, so that'll upgrade, and then suddenly then you can block all damage. You can upgrade your health, upgrade your attack, everything you think. Then actually unlock new characters that will help you, like the architect that will you'll gain. It says you'll gain the powers to lock down the castle. So, if you like a castle that you're in, because every time it respawns different, then you can save it to to keep going through again, you know. So just a lot of interesting stuff going on. Very similar to Dead, if you can imagine that. It's a side scroller. You start out, you know, and you're going through, and it's medieval, but I mean, it's definitely a lot more. I mean, how Dead Cells has that it has that look of it's like polygonal, but then like put into sprite base. You know, this is definitely looks more like a Super Nintendo game, and it's really cute. And you have like a really big floaty, like huge floaty jump, just like you can basically jump the whole screen, and you're fighting enemies, and it's really tough, you know. So you have your standard attack, then you have your special, like she mentioned that one before, where like this, like it'll throw a bunch of like shooting stars out from all angles that you can use, and that's like mana, has like points and stuff. So you go around, you collect gold, and then until you die, right? And then you can upgrade more, and then eventually get through, just like Dead Cells. So, but the thing is I found it to be a lot more in, like, I don't know, like a lot more wonkier than Dead Cells, where you can die a lot quicker, and you don't really feel kind of cheated by the design. That instead of it really being your fault, it kind of just feels like this is like
cheap deaths almost.
Yeah, I'm getting that feel a lot when I play, and you know, like of course that's in all roguelikes, and you know, like that's, I mean, the idea of dying isn't a bad thing, because then the cool thing is you can keep upgrading. So it's really more like a roguelite, I should say, if we're going by those terms. But you know, there's something about it where the combat is not even anywhere near like Dead Cells, where it feels so good and it's so like amazingly addicting and enthralling to play. Where this one just feels kind of stutterish and a
little clunky.
You know, clunky. There you go. Perfect. So,
but that would make sense if this is, you know, sort of described as like, oh, like Dead Cells took sort of what this game laid down and like just fixed it up, you know?
I suppose it could be, yeah. I mean,
like, do you see that comparison at all, or?
Yeah, I definitely see that. Definitely. I would say Dead Cells is infinitely better, but you know, looking back in 2020 and fixing everything, but yeah, it's not a very.
It ain't 2020, it's 2018, Jimmy.
You're very funny, but yeah. So it's just not as fun, to be honest. It's just not as fun of a game. After playing Dead Cells, not that I'm really, like, I'm not like instantly reminded and completely, you know, what am I looking for?
Enthralled.
What is the word? I cannot stand when you can't think of a simple compare. Like instantly compare it.
Comparable, yeah.
Yeah, to like Dead Cells, which is like, it's not fair to instantly compare a game, but it's just kind of like what happens when it's like,
when
I've played something that's so much better and feels so much better. So, you know, and I think there's a deeper, you know, system that gets into play, but I just wasn't really feeling this game too much, that Rogue Legacy game. So, I'm wondering what you're going to think of this next game.
Yes, well, it is not Full Metal Furries, it's Full Metal Furies. And
yes.
So I will be straight up and say I've not played a ton of this. I think I played like an hour or so on lunch break. So it just sort of gives.
And what kind of game is it?
So it's like it's an action RPG, but it's very cooperative based. And it almost just feels sort of like you go into a mission and like you go to like you're moving around, and you can move, like upwards towards, like, it isn't just like a linear 2D scroller. You can move around the area, and you go left, right, down, up, whatever. And you'll pretty much get to like an area, and then there are a bunch of enemies, and you sort of got to kill all the enemies, and then you can move on. It almost sort of feels like a beat 'em up in that regard, where it's like, all right, move into the area, kill everyone, move on to the next one, But what's cool is, so there are a couple different classes, and I did not play online because, like I said, I was at work, so I didn't have Wi-Fi. So single player works is it's like you can switch between two of the characters. And I had like, I guess the more like tankish one that had like a little shield, and then a sniper, which is literally like I had like a sniper and you shoot from far away. And you got to switch between the two. And what's cool is you'll encounter enemies, and each class, I guess, has and it might, I don't know if they're set color schemes or if it's just dependent on what number player you are when you get online, but it's probably linked to the class when I actually think about it. But like enemies will have a shield of that color, and no one else will be able to do any damage to that person until it's the orange shield, which is the sniper. So I need to hit that enemy a few times before the shield breaks. Then anyone can damage that person. So I like that's where I think a lot of the true cooperative play, as they dub it here, comes from, is sort of like and we're going to talk about Diablo 3 in a little bit, but like there it's essentially like, oh, like you could all be playing together, destroying enemies, but you could also sort of separate and just keep sort of pushing forward. With this, it's like, no, you need to work in tandem, because if I'm not there to destroy, you know what I mean? If I'm not destroying that shield, no one else can damage it, and then that person is just going to continue to sort of attack and hurt us, So, it was fun to be able to switch, on the fly with just a button, like, oh, roll out, got a different character, and now I can, play pretty different style of gameplay. But I could see how online, if you had some friends, that could be pretty fun. And what's cool is you collect a lot of gold.
Sure, yeah, that sounds awesome.
And you can do a lot of upgrading, too. So it's very, I guess, almost feels, I guess not really quite like Diablo, but, like, there is upgrading your tree, like, your abilities, more life, different skills and stuff. And, I didn't get to dive too deep into that, but it seemed like it was, pretty decent-sized tree. So it isn't just, like, a linear, like, okay, I'm upgrading this, and then I upgrade this, and then you have a little bit of agency on how you upgrade your character. So and then it's like mission based. So you go in, you do a mission, you pop back out, and it's almost like Super Mario, like 3D, like Super Mario World, where it's like, oh, you move on to the next little node on the map, But like they have branching paths as well. So. I mean, like I said, I didn't put a ton of time into it, but it seemed like it could be a pretty fun little game, especially if you have some friends. Like I said, I didn't get to try online, so I don't know how well it'll perform online, but, I don't know. I'm trying to think. It might be a good game for us to play at PAX, and see if we have fun playing it together,
Sure. So is it, so it's split screen, or it's like it's on the same screen?
No, it would. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it'd be on the same screen, because it's like, gotcha. I don't think you could like really like, oh, I'm going all the way over here and you're going all the way. Like it's like you travel together.
Gotcha. Yeah. But like you wouldn't need another Switch and another game to play.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It'd be nice, good old fashioned local co-op.
Giddy up. Awesome.
And we need to get Jill and or whoever is around involved too.
How many players does it have? Up to
4 players.
4. Gotcha. Cool. Well, that's Rogue Legacy and Full Metal Furies. But let's get into our main entrees.
I'm ready to eat. Are you?
I am, and it sounds so good.
Pizza.
Piping hot pizza. So let's order from Pizza Titan Ultra.
hope your walls are strongly fortified. That's the word.
I know. I love ordering from this place, but the thing that sucks is like when they come, they just burst my whole wall. I have to replace my wall every time they come. But the pizza's pretty decent,
Worth it,
and affordable. The pizza's affordable, but the wall is
they're pretty expensive pizzas.
That's true. They're like
hundreds of dollars. But you know what? They burn a lot of fuel, I guess, in those big mechs they deliver in.
So what the heck are you talking about, Case?
So this is Pizza Titan Ultra, and this game is bonkers in the best way possible.
Yep.
So I have not played a lot of Blast Corp on as far as the N64. Have you?
I've never played it before.
Okay.
Nope.
I
own it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I bought it, and I played it for a second, and then I just never got back around to it. So from what I hear, it's similar to that. And for those who haven't played it, similar to us, what it is, it's sort of you get in there and you get a mission, and the story revolving each mission is just, I mean, the whole game's ludicrous. You're essentially delivering pizzas in this, like, 30-foot mech as you fly around the town delivering pizzas, and
well, you're not flying, you're just jogging.
You can fly, you can float.
Yeah,
you can
I guess you can. Yeah, you can jump and hover. Yep.
Hoover. So yeah, essentially you're running through the town and like you're just destroying stuff, and you don't have to destroy stuff, but some missions require it, some don't. But you know, each mission sort of starts off with like a, hey, this person wants a pizza, but they also sort of want this too, you know? And like I said, it's all silliness, like, oh, like the totally legit company or like totally legit contractor or something to that extent. And he's like, yeah, I want a pizza, but you know, you got to destroy like a third of the suburb while you're on the way. No, don't worry, it's all good. And then like you call the police station and they're like, nah, I don't know about that. But then you get a call from the mayor that it's like, no, you can do it, don't worry. So the mission is like deliver the pizza, but like you need to destroy 30% of the map, you know? So you need to go around just destroying buildings as you're delivering.
Oh my goodness.
And what's cool is like it's not like, okay, you could do that, but as like littered around the entire map are little dollar signs, so you want to pick those up to get more money. But they also have like time bonuses too. So and within that you could deliver pizzas to other locations, like not just the I guess I should say you don't to deliver like complete the mission, you complete the objective and then the mission's over. So while you're working towards that, you deliver pizzas to other buildings, and that just boosts your money and your time. So you could go around and say, I just want to beat this objective as fast as possible to get this mission over. Or you could go around collecting the extra time and the extra money and delivering extra pizzas to just try and build up your cash, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's great. Like some missions though are like the opposite, where it's like, hey, I don't want you to destroy stuff, so it's like be as careful as possible. You know,
you got to tiptoe.
Yeah, so you need to creep and crawl, and it introduces now enemies, the opposing fast food or opposing pizza company, and somehow it morphed into they have like robots that attack you and stuff, and tanks. So it's like they're usually scattered about as well. So some of the missions revolve around destroying them, and then some are just, you have another objective, but they're just in the way. So it's like you need to take them out because they're firing missiles at you. And the deeper you get into the game, the more aggressive those enemies become. And, in the beginning, it's pretty much like, hey, just go have fun. And then like as you work your way down into the missions, it gets a little more tough or a little more difficult, and it's like, okay, I need to make sure I'm taking out these guys and sort of dodging as best I can.
Mm-hmm.
Have you put a lot of... I know you got code for this game as well. Did you put a lot of time into it?
Not a ton, but I mean, definitely it was a fun game to mess around with for a little bit. I mean, I have so many games that I've been playing, so I haven't got a ton of time in it, but... I love how it really has that Crazy Taxi vibe. It really just reminds me of that. But then it also like Transformers, and like it just wackiness, and then just I love when you hand them the pizzas and you just punch into the buildings.
Yeah,
It's
right in their
just-
living room, and they're like, "Thanks, man."
It's just so good, you know. So I
mean,
think that's really funny.
Yeah, the whole game, it definitely does not take anything too seriously. And I mean, for me, it's like, this is a perfect game to jump in, play a few missions, and jump out. You know, like, it doesn't, I don't think it bodes well for, like, I'm going to sit down and play 3.5 hours of Pizza Titan Ultra, you know? I think it's
Right.
better suited in small bits, which works well, obviously, with, you know, being able to play it portably. There were a few instances of just a little bit of slowdown when you're sort of really destroying stuff, but ultimately not too bad. And there was one time I clipped through the bottom of the stage, and then I got stuck and I had to restart. So that was a little frustrating, but that only happened once, and the slowdown is pretty minimal. Like I said, it's noticeable, but it's, you know, it's pretty quick, and, you know, I don't think it hinders the experience all that much. But yeah, it's a fun little game. I mean, it's definitely, if nothing else, you should totally check out some videos on YouTube to see what it's about. You can personalize your Titan. You know, that's as you're getting money. So pretty much, I should say, like, you unlock the first 3 missions, and like it has 3 missions and like a bonus area where it's just like, hey, go try and get as high of a score as you possibly can. And then what you do is you buy the next area. And, like, it's not too much. And, like, you just continue to buy the next, like, hubs of quests as you go.
Right.
But you can also, you know, buy... I don't think they actually change anything to the Titan side from visuals. But it is fun to customize. Like, I got the... my big robot's got, like, a big old chef hat on. And he's Jets colored, so he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Beautiful.
Pizza Titan Ultra, definitely, like I said, definitely worth, if nothing more, looking at some videos to see what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, and I believe that was your game of the week last week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm enjoying our, you know, we reach out to some devs, and, you know, we're lucky enough that they hit us back up, and they are stoked to hear that they were picked, and let us, you know, bring a full circle here and actually get to discuss what the game's about.
Yeah.
So it's I sort of like how that sort of, it only took 100 episodes to be like, well, why don't we pick the one we like the most?
Yeah.
You'd think that would have been something like we discovered super early on, but
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's a good gameplay loop, see, to tie it to games.
yes, I like it.
Yes. So it's happened. Same with me. Your pick of the week was Pizza Titan Ultra, and mine was The Legend of Evil. Yes. So this is a game that it kind of, you know, caught my. We first, you know, muttered, you know, things like, wow, what a dumb name, because it's so generic. You know, like why would it? You know, why would someone pick such a generic name? And then we kind of started looking at screenshots, and we're like, oh, this game looks sweet. And I was like, well, you know, and it jumped out to me. It's like, hey, this looks like Kingdom, you know?
This looks like my favorite game.
Yeah, exactly. With gorgeous pixel art, too. Definitely a lot different, but yeah. And so it's a side-scrolling, basically what it is, it's a side-scrolling tower defense game, like Kingdom. Like, again, I hate to say that, because that makes it sound so much
like not
cheaper
like it's
than it actually
own
is.
thing.
But it's a lot different than Kingdom in the dynamic of it. I mean, it's not really a roguelike. There's a roguelike mode, which is cool. I haven't tried it yet because I've been so addicted to the main campaign where there's like 20 or 30 levels. And let me tell you about this. It's basically like Kingdom, but condensed to it's just one-sided from going one. So you're on the left and the enemy's coming from the right. So far, that's how it's been. And you have to build towers, and those towers will spawn enemies, and you gotta fight the enemies that are coming. And you have the whole is to get to the end and break down their what do they call it? An obelisk? Is that a thing? Obelisk? What is that?
Is it like a stone,
like a shrine type
figure?
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's what it is. So, and then if they get to yours, and if they touch it, like if they just hit it, then it's game over. So these usually last from like, I think the games, let's see, it starts off at like like 250 seconds. You know, so it's they're pretty fat. They're super fast paced, and that's where I was gonna say it's very brisk. It's like a very brisk version of Kingdom, but that's really where the similarities are. You're a guy. And you're moving across the land, this really short amount of space compared to Kingdom, like just 2 screens long, really. And you are just maintaining your towers that you have by upgrading them. So, and that's really how you could say the same thing about Kingdom, but Kingdom's a lot more slower paced and a lot more strategic, just in a slower sense, because there's so many more variables happening. In this one, there's really just there are people coming to attack you, and you have to defend yourself. And now it definitely adds a lot of strategy in. I mean, not to say that it's not like it's just like one dimensional, but it's really cool. So you start off, and you can build a tower, and you build it for 100. I think 100 souls. I think they actually use souls, like Dark Souls.
Ooh. Everything's connecting back to the games we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, isn't that funny? So, and that will build the standard enemy that's just kind of they're medium, and they have a low attack, but they can move pretty fast, and they have a low defense and a low attack, but they're just it's like the normal, the Goomba, if you will.
The old Goomba.
Yeah, because you're so the idea is that you're actually the evil. You're the demon lord here. You're not and you're fighting the humans.
You're no king, huh?
Well, I think you're the king of the demons, basically. Yeah, it's really
Halloween,
weird.
baby.
Yeah, Halloween. And so let's say you build a tower, and then it'll say every 6 seconds an enemy will spawn, but then you can upgrade it so that every 4 seconds, and then keep going by getting more souls, and then you can upgrade that aspect, like have it spawn more frequently, or you can make it generate more souls more frequently. So those are the kind of main ones, and then as you keep beating these levels, which it's really fun. First 2-3 levels are really fun, and then it's like the 4th. It's like, oh my goodness, they're so hard.
they're not messing around.
Yeah, I mean, it gets really, really tough. Luckily, before, and I'm kind of learning. This is where it might be a little unbalanced, just because the difficulty is so hard. But you can do an easy mode, or I like to call it Casey mode.
Oh.
And and you can beat it. And I think that it's funny because I just hit my head against the level trying all these different, well, maybe I should start building a tower. So anyway, you keep going, and once you beat a level, you'll unlock actually a new type of tower. And this tower generates this kind of enemy who's slower, but he has a way higher attack, and he has a higher defense. So
Tank, baby.
You can see how. Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of idea, or a Goomba, but but not a Goomba, but more like the
Spike.
Oh, let's say a turtle. Let's say a Koopa. Let's say Koopa, and the equivalent of that. So, and then you keep going, then you unlock one that's fast, and then as you keep going the levels, you'll find there's actually towers that are red, and I think it's either red or purple. And the red ones, you can't actually make the spawn. You can't make them where they actually spawn creatures, but they're only used to spawn to generate souls. And then, but on top of that, it's not just generate creatures, generate souls. It's really cool. You can get like a glue upgrade that will when monsters walk in front of it, it'll slow them down, and you can upgrade the glue to make it so that it goes slower, and then you can actually upgrade the range of the glue so that it reaches out.
All right. I like that.
And so, and then, cool. Oh yeah, it's great. And so it's actually like at first I was like, oh, this is really fun. It has a really good. I'd say the only downfall of this game, really. I mean, the graphics are great. The music's really fun. Everything is great. The difficulty is really, really tough. Which I suppose is a good thing, because I'd rather have it be really tough than like super easy, I guess, because yeah.
They need to find a nice balance, though. Would be
and I guess the easy mode really doesn't feel that easy because I've tried it, and what it does is it makes you spawn souls just quicker, so you can have more money to spend on stuff, and then it also makes the cool thing is like critical enemies will spawn, so they'll be way bigger and way like for instance, if one. Like, let's say the Goomba one does an attack of 10. Well, you might get lucky, and it might like generate like a giant one who does an attack of 30. And so the easy mode it makes that percentage higher for generating those. But it's a really, really fun game. I was so surprised by it because I think they kind of trick you. First of all, the name is just terrible. I don't like the name because it really just it doesn't.
It just makes it sound cheap.
It has not.
Almost,
yes, and then on top of it though, you know what else makes something seem cheap is when it actually legitimately is cheap, meaning it's inexpensive. I think it's only like $10 or it's like $8 or something like that, and it was on sale. That's a launch price.
That's that nice sweet spot though on the old eShop. I feel like you got those premium $14.99ers, and then you got that nice $7.99er.
Yeah, and it's I'd say it's totally worth it. If something, it's totally a tower defense game, and I just kind of realized, you know what? I like tower defense games. I really do. I think I think they're fun concepts because it's like time management, figuring out where to go, and just the strategy that comes. You could say that tower defense is just strategy, it's just a pure strategy game where instead of turn-based, it's kind of like instead of like a turn-based like strategy RPG, it's like there is no turns.
Well, I guess not necessarily always in waves, but
or wave-based, So it just has that really nice strategy that I love that you can learn and you can develop better tactics. And then the cool thing is every time you beat a level, you'll unlock a new. See, this is what I was thinking, like going through it on easy. And then you can go back through and play the old ones, and you'll have all the newer stuff that you can use and still play it on the hard mode, I think. So, you know what I mean? So you can unlock the stuff with easy mode and go back and play the hard mode and then get...
Cheating.
And there's medals.
He's cheating.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's almost like if you played it, it's really, really tough. So, yeah, the difficult... there are... let's see. So there are only 20 levels, I should say. So I'm on level 6, and it's like the last 3 levels have been super hard. But on each level, you get medals. You can earn medals like, complete it on hard mode, complete it under this amount of time, complete it this. So there's a lot of achievements. It's just a lot of fun. And I've just only tackled the campaign mode. There's also one called Rogue Conquest, and I'm assuming that plays like a roguelike. Because that sounds like it would be
seems
right.
like it'd be a brutal a
brutal
roguelike.
It's probably just play until you die, right? So yeah. But don't be fooled by the generic name. This is a fantastic game that really hooked me. It's great for portable play. Fantastic for portable play. You get those games where it's like if you're on a podcast and you're listening to Casey Gibbons, then
old Jibbies.
And you want something to play while he's talking. It's a perfect game for that. So
yeah, just like a game I'll be able to talk about next week, but
yeah. Yep. But so speaking of Souls, right? Is that what we're going into? Sorry, I haven't looked at the thing.
You big Jimmy, no. But we could if you wanted to.
No. Nah, because this Well, this has souls in it too, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's
Okay, speaking of evil and playing as a demon king, let's just say that.
You won't be playing as a demon king in this game, but you'll be killing them. And I've been playing the old Diablo 3. I think it's called the Eternal Collection or something. Something like that. But yes, I was lucky
Diablo
enough
3.
to get in on some D3 action. And let me just say, I think it's pretty well known my love of Diablo as a whole.
Yeah, your hate of Diablo.
Yeah. This game stinks on us. And Diablo 3 is definitely my out of all of the games in the series, you know, it's my least favorite. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
the first one?
I've learned something as I've, you know, dove back into this game.
Yeah.
Is that, like, for me, all right, so Diablo 2 is all about the grind, you know? It's like, and these games are very grindy in a good way because it's fun. But, you know, you grind, you try and find loot, you want to get your character better, you know? In Diablo 2, essentially when you leveled up, you would get, you'd get, like, 1 skill point, and you'd get 5, like, points to put into, like, strength, vitality, dexterity, you know, intellect, that kind of thing. And once they were placed, that's where they stood for the entirety of forever, you know? Like, it was very permanent, you know? So, like, you know, early on, it's like, oh, whatever, I'm having fun, just, you know, oh, this looks good. But eventually you get to a point when you've played a bunch where you're like, okay, I want to make, like, the most, like, badass character I can, you know? So it's like, okay, I need to plan this out now. I'm going to need this much strength to use these kind of items and use the, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of planning went into your character. And, like, one misclick of the mouse could destroy it, you know?
Oh, man.
So it was very, you know, but that was part of, like, what was amazing. It's like, it'd be like, okay, I want to start a new character. It's like, this is an investment, you know? And it'd be like, all right, now I've got a character to work on for weeks, you know, and it was just, it was perfect back then, you know? And so when Diablo 3 came out and it was like, oh, I can just change all my skills no matter what. Like, oh, I don't actually even put any points into my, like, strength and stuff. It just, like, scales up. You know, it was very like, oh, like, this ain't my Diablo, you know? And in all fairness, when Diablo 3 launched, it is not the game that you're playing when you pop in the Switch version of the game. They've made a lot of changes, and ultimately for the better. Because, again, when Diablo 3 launched, there was something called the Real Money Auction House, and just the auction house in general. So people would post items on this auction house, and you could buy them with gold, like, within the game, but they also had options like, the Real Money Auction House, where you could sell items for real money. Yeah, because a lot of people in D2 would, like, use eBay and stuff and buy items, and runes were, like, the currency, essentially, were, like, these high runes. So people would buy those, and I guess Blizzard was like, well, why don't we make this safer, quote-unquote, / let's take a cut, you know? But yeah, so eventually they got rid of that because that really screwed up how drops worked in the game.
So crazy.
Because it would be like, they couldn't just have, like, a million good items dropping all the time, because it'd be so easy for them to just get listed on the auction house. So there'd be a lot of, like, oh, this item is absolutely useless. It's like a two-handed great axe with, like, a ton of intellect. You know what I mean? So it's like...
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So essentially, like, a two-handed great axe, it's like, who's going to use that? A melee character, you know? Like a barbarian.
No idea. Okay.
But,
sure.
and, like, intellect doesn't help a barbarian, like, at all, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is literally a piece of trash. So it's like, you would get a lot of those items. And it was discouraging because it'd be like, well, I guess I just need to get enough gold so I can go onto the auction house to buy an item, you know?
Yeah, that sounds awful.
So they got rid of the auction house completely, and now it's like, it's much, like, it's still, essentially, like, after you play through the game, at the end of the day, Diablo's about, like, going in and trying to find the best loot possible, you know? And, like, it's still difficult to find that ultimate piece of loot, but it's like, at least it's obtainable now, you know? It's not like, oh, there's no chance in hell I'm going to get a good item, you know? Like, you feel like there's a chance.
Sheesh. Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, well, that was the problem with the auction house, and that's why, like, when Diablo 3 first launched, it was like I said, the game is infinitely better now than it was when it launched.
Cool. And you're liking it?
Yes. Now, as far as the Switch goes, it is incredible. It runs flawlessly. The online, like, flawless. I'm not even. This is, like, it's unbelievable how good. You know.
That's what David was saying.
Yeah, we got 4 people online, like, seamless. There's no, like, there's load times within the game, you know, of course, but they're not long. But, like, when you go online, it's the same, you know. It feels like I was just playing single player. People jump in, You could jump out, of the game easily. Like, it's not like, oh, hold on, this person's joining, let's wait a minute. It's like very seamless, and it just runs immaculately. And it's funny because like there are parts where there's just tons and tons and tons of enemies on the screen, and then you've got 4 people playing online, and each of their skills has a lot of visual effects to it as well. So it's like Neil was playing as a witch doctor, and essentially one of their skills was just like this huge green like blurb coming out of him, and it was just like all over the screen, and it was just with all of these other skills and enemy animations, and it just no slowdown, no choppiness. Like I'm really impressed at how well this game runs for the Switch. And as far as the game goes, it's very it's like I said, it's grindy, but it's fun grindy. You know what I mean? Like, it's really
satisfying.
Yeah, it's satisfying to get in there and blow enemies up. What's cool is as you level up, you unlock, like, it starts off like you got like your 2 skills, and then as you level up, they like, oh, now you got another skill, and then you got another skill, and then all of a sudden you start unlocking runes for these skills. So essentially, I think there's 6 runes for each skill, and it just. So, like, for instance, I'm playing a Crusader, and one of them is essentially like, it's like a hammer that sort of swirls around you and outwards, and you cast that a few times, and it hits enemies around you. But, like, each rune affects that differently. So one of them is like, oh, now when it hits an enemy, it shoots off a little chain lightning to another enemy. But then I unlock a rune that goes, oh, it does fire damage, and it scorches some of the ground around, you know what I mean? And it just, so even when you unlock your full arsenal of abilities, there's even more customization and messing around within those abilities because each of them has.
Would you say that its
runes.
customability is high?
Yes, absolutely. Like you can play one character a ton of different ways. The customability is crazy good.
It's very high.
It's crazy good.
That would be your on the
box
Diablo
art.
The box art. Yeah, the customability is crazy good. Cassie Gibbons.
Pert approves this message. But yeah, so I mean, for anyone who hasn't played it, I mean, to me, I really love the story. We actually did a Thirsty Mage that dives a little deeper into Diablo, which should be up by the time this podcast posts.
Oh,
so you might,
nice.
If you want to hear, about an hour and change of Diablo talk, that's going to be the spot to go. Myself, Jordan, Neil, and David were on that. We all got to play it.
Oh,
but
Neil was on it.
Yeah. Never mind.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, they talked about like how the story, wasn't as gripping to them. As someone who I'm very invested in the game. It's obviously has more pull to me, but I think it's still an interesting story. Like I said, it's one of those where it's like you might want to play the game by yourself to get the story, but when you're playing online, it's all about just blasting through enemies, And it's pretty cool because you can just adjust the difficulty level. So it's like you play normal, and then it's like, okay, whatever. Then you do hard, and then it's like, hey, now you get a boost to your experience. And then you could keep going up, like, a lot of like we were getting 300% experience with us 4 just wreaking havoc. Like we played a half hour, we leveled up like 4 or 5 times. It's like super satisfying. And like I said, they have. I could go on for a long time about Diablo 3. Like I said,
we'll probably hear more of it.
Yeah, I want to keep playing more. I know Estuardo, I'm pretty sure, is picking it up. I'm pretty sure. Grizzles was thinking about it. I think I might be mixing people up.
I'm definitely thinking about it too.
It'll be a really good game for us to jump on with people to play, and I will definitely be down for that. But yeah, if you really want to hear some more about Diablo 3, definitely listen to the Thirsty Mage on that. You can find all that on the podcast services and whatnot. I think David even has the thirstymage.com now if you want to check that out. But yeah, essentially runs amazingly well, and it's a really fun loot crazy blowing up tons of demons game. So boom boom.
Well, some of that applies to this next game we're going to talk about. I think a little bit, probably not.
A little slower paced, I think, but
yeah. And we both have been playing a game called Dark Souls Remastered. Dark Souls, baby. So, 1 week ago when we recorded with 2IP, I had played Dark Souls for 15 minutes beforehand.
And I hated
it was like, I mean, it wasn't the best. I mean, those first, when you have no idea what's going on and it's like,
it's definitely,
what the heck is happening?
It definitely
it's
takes
so
a little
weird,
bit
right?
to get into it. You know, like,
and it's really not a really good looking environment. Like, it's just kind of like, it's like, this feels like, this is like kind of like Zelda, but
way more punishing.
Really, really slow paced and super hard, and I don't really know all the systems going on. It's complicated, and I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, I hate this game.
I hate it. But you keep going, and you know there's this little kind of a tutorial at the beginning area where you go through and you learn how to fight enemies, and you realize like, I need to switch to that other weapon that I got a long time ago because the stupid knife that I have is doing 1 damage, and it takes me
little poker
to stab this little zombie guy in the back for a critical hit like 10 times for him to die, and it takes him like literally 2 minutes to kill him.
I hate this game.
And I was just like, what is this? Like, what's going on? You know, and then I finally like switched weapons. But I like how, you know, and then you keep going, and this is all stuff I found out by myself, which I do like that. I like when I don't have to resort to a walkthrough to find stuff, and you do it, you know, it's like, oh, well, it makes all the better. Oh, this is awesome. Now I don't have to stab that guy in the back 10 times, just once or twice.
Yeah, that aha moment is always,
oh, yeah.
You know.
And then, you know, going around, and I picked up a shield. I'm like, I don't use shield. I'm not going to use a shield. Like,
I ain't no
I'm just
pansy.
all attack, you know. Yeah, I'm not a pansy. Like, you know. And, you know, I played the game probably a couple hours or even more. Like, because you get a good enough weapon and you can kind of dodge and you don't really need a shield. And then you find out, guys, everyone listening, if you haven't played Dark Souls and you're gonna use a shield. Like,
there's just
for
definitely
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
For me,
so,
I haven't played a ton of it. I mean, like, I played a decent amount for sure.
You've played a pretty decent amount.
I guess. I mean, I've cleared.
I feel like I've played a ton.
I played. I cleared the gargoyles. I rang that first bell, and then I'm in like the foresty area.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, like in the beginning, it was like, okay, like, all right, like, what am I doing here? And then it's sort of like you said, you sort of start to click, like, okay, this makes sense. Like, for me, like, I use my shield when it's like certain enemies, but like the bosses, I rely more on, like, because I am, oh god, what did I pick? Now I'm blanking on the class name. Cleric?
I think I'm a wanderer.
Is that sound right? A cleric? I think that's...
A cleric, yeah.
So I'm using a mace, and then I've got some, like, magic skills.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, essentially, like,
You have magic skills?
I've got...
Yeah, I haven't got it yet, either.
I just got a heal, like, so I've got a heal that you can use, like, 5 times. And so, essentially, you know, a couple more healing options. And then I just bought one that, like, I haven't actually used it on any enemies, but I think it's called Force. And it seems to be like a little pulse around me that maybe pushes the enemies back and does some damage. But essentially, I've been switching to like when I do the gargoyles, it's like, all right, I'm putting my shield away. I'm using this freaking mace two-handed, and I'm going to be rolling around, you know? And
did that work pretty good?
It took a couple tries, but I was able to get it down. And
I took the I like the little hints before they say like use lightning, so I put the gold dust on my.
Is that what?
Thing?
There was one of the early bosses that had that too. I don't think it was the gargoyle.
The gargoyles are super weak to lightning.
That might have been beneficial.
I put that on my sword, and
you can cut their tails off too.
Huh?
If you hit them in the tail,
cut the tail off,
which is nice because then they can't fly around, which sort of helps a little bit for sure.
Oh yeah.
But so I was going to say, just the beauty of this game is you get to a new area, you encounter a new type of enemy, and you just go, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do this. It's like it's impossible. And then like 2 or 3 times later, you sort of like the game is full of aha moments. I feel like because it's like, okay, this is what I need to do, And then you get to that point where it's like, oh yeah, from here to there used to take me like, it took me like 20 minutes the first couple times. Now I'm able to run through it in 5, you know?
Yep. Yeah, and then you're always on the constant grind of leveling up, getting more souls, and then getting stronger. And then, like you said, it's the natural abilities that you're getting. You're getting better at being able to dodge and how to guess movements of enemies. It's a great feeling of actually getting better. And then you get a little too cocky, and then you lose 5,000 souls.
I know it. Yeah, I've blown through this area. Screw it, I'm not gonna take those out. And then you die, and you're like,
and they take you out in 2 seconds.
And you've got no one to blame but yourself because it's like this game is intentionally does that crap, you know. And you're like, oh mother,
yeah,
and you want to toss your controller.
Oh man, I had a couple of those where I was just like once it was it's that bonfire that like it's like one of the first ones where the one I use the most where you unlock the ladder to get to the other area, but it's that one bonfire like in the I don't know what the places are called on the tower on the no,
that's the first area.
This is like it's almost around there. It's in the castles, you know, and you walk out.
Is it by the blacksmith?
It's by the merchant.
Oh, all right. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anywho, I had lost like against the Black Knight that you can go down and find, and I was gonna go down there and get it, and I was like, oh, I'll just kill this guy real quick, and I fell off. I fell off the freaking bridge like right there, and it's like, oh my goodness.
I know that's the worst because then it's like,
I know.
Like the enemies you could be annoyed at because it's like, well, you know, whatever. But like, oh, when you do something stupid like you fall off the edge, you're like, and you can't even really get your body back or your souls back.
Yeah. So I found that. So I had an epiphany about this game. Are you ready for this?
Oh.
I realized what this game is just like in a lot of ways, and it's funny. I mean, you rip out all the RPG elements, kind of. And this game plays so much like Resident Evil. Like Revelations.
Yeah, I guess I could yeah.
And it kind of looks like it too. You're kind of moving around at a slow pace. Enemies are coming out to attack, but instead of using your guns and shooting them in the head, it's now more like a melee. But it's very, very, it feels so similar too. Not in any sort of aesthetic way. I think it looks like if you look at me, it looks like the team that made Resident Evil Revelations made this game. Like it really looks similar, especially because like the remastered. I don't exactly know I've seen like PS3 footage and it definitely looks a lot different. But but I mean this all in a good way. It just reminds me. The whole game reminds me of Resident Evil with no guns, but you know that clunkiness of Resident Evil, you know?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of clunkiness.
I know what you mean.
To eat, and it just reminded me so much of it. So it's kind of like a medieval Resident Evil without zombies, and then you just got to save at the bonfire. But it's kind of like how item management in Resident Evil is so important. This is like every encounter you have is so important. But like you said, you get to a point where you get really good, and if you can just be patient with yourself, you can make it through your stuff. And then
I think that's half the battle is remaining patient, because it is so easy to get to that point where it's like, nah, you know, I can blow through this part, and then it's just like, I knew it. I freaking knew it. You know,
I can take that guy. And then you start, and you're like, oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
Yeah, and like I said, and you've got no one to blame but Jimmy himself, you know? You know what I'm talking about, too. It's like,
But I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I really, really, really enjoyed this game. Because I didn't know what to expect, you know? I just didn't know. And I get it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of time you have to put into it. I'm realizing.
Yeah, I think if you want to see the end, it's going to be definitely going to be a grind.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can only imagine it's going to continue to get even more punishing as you go. You know, it's like it's not going to let up on you.
Just like the RPG cliche. I mean, it's like it's a lot of looking up stuff and what stuff does, because like I'm in a position where it's like you get something and you're like, you don't know if that's the rarest thing you're ever going to get in the game, you know, and you know, like you don't know what that's for, and if you could use it and lose it, and then you don't have it, and you can, you know, so it's like I don't want to make any stupid decisions. So
I feel like
you finally
I
get
have that
to a boss.
too when like leveling up, because it's like, well, like how important is each stat really? You know, like am I investing in the proper spots here, or am I you know, am I doing something stupid?
Yeah.
And like I know you could technically like just continue to grind areas, like, oh, you know, like I'll just you know, like I'll rinse and repeat these couple of enemies that I know I could take out and just grind up souls. But it's like I don't really want to do that, you know?
No, I don't want to do that. Exactly. You know, absolutely. So, and you know, so I think that if the best way it would be is to have a relationship with someone that has played this game, and you guys can talk about it and figure out stuff together, and then help each other through segments. Like I said, it was just immensely helpful. Like, just for instance, for anyone listening, this isn't a spoiler, but like when you get humanity, like both me and you, we don't know what that is. I don't know. It doesn't explain what that is. It might say a text bubble of, if you do this with humanity, then you have this, and it's like, okay, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that tells me
and
nothing.
So you find a humanity. I mean, it's like someone gives you, like, it's like a little soul thing, and if you take it, you turn back into like a human instead of like an undead zombie thing.
Yeah, I know. You do look gruesome after a while.
Yeah. So if you go to a bonfire while you are back to a human, then you can offer your humanity to that bonfire, and then every time you spawn from that bonfire, you will have twice as much health. They call them flasks, but they're little up, like, I think of them as potions. You'll have 10 instead of 5, and it's like I had no idea. David told us that, and we're both like,
wait,
but yeah,
you
but
mean
what's the
you
catch,
can get more? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and they're like, no, there's no catch. It's like, okay.
I still don't know if I believe that. There has to be some sort of catch.
No, there's no catch. I've done it many times now.
You're missing out on something you don't even know about.
Well,
there's got to be some. There's got to be something.
It's weird, right? I know. So anyway, I think it's a good. To me, I think this would have been me. I mean, Miiverse is kind of in this game, you know.
Yeah, with
walking around and seeing messages, but you don't really see messages from anyone, and it looks like they're like predetermined messages. Like, I don't think you can just write anything you want.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, I think
because they're all like the same.
I'm pretty sure there's like preset messages you could buy or whatever.
Yeah, and some of them troll you.
Yeah, but there is like a rating system.
Like jump here. Have you ever fallen off someone?
No, I haven't luckily done that. I know, like,
I've done it once, and or twice. It's lead to like secret places. It's like, oh, cool. And then I look down. I'm like, no, that doesn't look like I can. But
they have definitely been helpful.
And then I died. Yeah,
like I think it wasn't the gargoyle, but it was maybe it was, I don't know. It was some sort of boss, and it was like, watch out behind you, and then there were like some son of a guns up on the top, like archers, you know. And I was like, oh man, like,
yeah, that's the first the Tauros.
Okay, yeah, and it was like, oh man, like that definitely helped. And I mean, like, granted, it would have been something you find out after your first death anyway, but like it was still nice to be, okay, well, I can go take those guys out, and then at least like this first attempt can be a complete learning experience instead of me just getting slammed by them before, you know, without really getting to see any progress with the boss.
Exactly. So it's a very fun concept, and yeah, it's a fun game, and I'd recommend it to anyone who's up for a challenge and for sinking their teeth into a big game. And
it'll definitely it's a lot of fun. It's frustrating, but yeah, it will definitely definitely take you a while, you know, if you're looking for that sort of value as far as terms of hours go, you know.
Right. Absolutely. But we really like dark games, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. Now, this next game is very dark, and you have to be the light in the game.
Something like that, yeah.
Right?
Well,
right? That's the right?
Well, it is a dark game. I don't know if I was ever considered the light.
Well, you have to literally be the light, meaning you have a flashlight that you're moving around with.
Yes, you do have a little light.
That's the only way you can see.
Yes. And it's also super cute, but also super not cute. And that is
Cassie Gibbons, 2018.
Yeah, box art.
Yeah.
Yomawari: The Long Night Collection.
Collection?
Yes, there's 2 games in this bad boy.
There's the short night and the long night.
Oh. Let's see. There is... Now I'm blanking on the exact names. It is A Night Alone is the first one, or Night Alone. And then the next one is Midnight Shadows. And essentially, they're both very similar in terms of how they look and play, but there are some changes that, sort of differentiate the two. But to kick it off, you are you're a little girl, and you're, like, walking your dog at night, and it's like, oh, okay, like, this is, okay, whatever, very cool art style, they
Okay, all right, yeah, go. Okay.
Yeah, the little girl, she's cute, got her cute little puppy, and then, you pick up a rock and you throw it, and your dog's like, ooh, I'm gonna go after that, and then it's hit by a bus. And you're like...
Your dog
Yeah, just murdered.
I'm not playing this
dog
game.
Murdered. And you're like...
I'm not playing
You're
this
like,
game.
oh my good lord. And then it's like, well, I better get home and, like, talk to my sister, And then you go home and the weird thing is, it's like, I guess you're a little girl, so you might not know better. Essentially, like, the bus comes or the car, and, like, afterwards, it's just the leash, you got just the leash. And I guess you're like, yeah, the dog's gone. So your sister goes looking for him, but then your sister's gone. So it's like, all right, I need to go find my sister and my dog. That's dead. I don't know why she's trying to find the dead dog. But,
yeah.
So, yeah, you venture out.
She can't accept it.
Yeah, I will not accept this fate. And you venture out into the town, and it's like a very Japanese themed game. So it's like, sort of like those kind of neighborhoods. Like very Japanese themed neighborhood, and you're sort of wandering around, and you start to find like creepy little spirits all around, and you have nothing but a flashlight, so there's no combat in this game at all. So when you encounter an enemy, or as you approach an enemy, you'll hear like a heartbeat, and then you're like, okay, that means something's close, and then as it gets closer, it starts to pound more, so it's like, oh god. And then you can run away, you can jump into like a bush or, behind a sign. And you can also pick up things around the town, like certain things like rocks, coins, paper airplanes. And you can use those to distract certain spirits, not all of them. So like if they're coming close, you could throw that and then they go over to that and then you can sort of slink away. The first game is more puzzly, I'd say. There's more like, puzzle form, and it's more like, okay, I need to get, like, you'll go, okay, I need to go here, and you go there and it's locked, and it's like, all right, well, I need to find the way in, and then it's like, this clue says it's sort of over by the pool, and then you go to the pool and that's locked, and then it's like, so you need to find the key to open up an area to find the key to that, and it's a little more puzzle oriented. And the second one is more, I'd say, action-y oriented, because the second one you sort of, like I said, it plays pretty similar. This time you're a girl, again, with your friend. She goes missing, and you're trying to find her. And this game it's really weird and twisted because, like,
it is.
In the beginning of the second game, you're separated from your friend. Then again, you have your dog with you, and like you throw a rock for it to go get it, and it goes over, but then like the board between the gap falls down, so you get separated from your dog, and then you end up sort of just walking a little bit to the left, and this beautiful scene, like, and it's in my video review, you could check out on Nintendo World Report TV, but beautiful scene, like really cool orange colors in the sky, and like very, very cool, and like you're walking down, and then you get to the dead end, and there's a tree, and then there's a box, and it's like, oh, why don't you go bring the box over by the tree? And I'm like, okay, like maybe I'm gonna climb this tree, and then all of a sudden she steps on the box and like hangs a noose around the tree and just hangs herself, and I'm like, I was like, oh my god, I was serious. I was like, Jesus Christmas, man, like this game is freaking weird, and like I said, it's such a contrast because it's like I mean, like, obviously they do things within the art style for, like, the monsters are creepy looking and, like, flickering lights and blood. There's a lot of blood and gore. Well, not gore, but blood stains. And, like, when you die, which if you get touched by any of the spirits just once, blood soaks screen and you're dead. But it's very, like, oh my goodness, you know, it's just strange. And, you know, the art style is so, like, welcoming, and like I said, the protagonists, they're like cute little girls with bows in their hair, and they're just, you know, trucking around town, and then you got all these weird things going on, and it is really definitely a bizarre game. As far as the second one, like I said, it gets a little more action oriented when you go into like you'll end up shifting into buildings, and then like you feel much more trapped, you know, inside the buildings. And like I noticed in the second one a lot more enemies involved, where there was like, oh, there's large areas where I need to be stealthy and I need to use item tosses to get through this, otherwise I'm gonna die, you know. Where the first one, like, I felt like there was never that many times where it was like, oh, there's a ton of enemies around me, you know. So it definitely shifted a little bit more, you know, dealing with enemies. The bosses are more complex in the second one. But the game is definitely about exploration and exploring the town. You can get rewarded for, like, with side items and quests or events, I should say, that you know, sort of go on that you don't need to do, but that if you're exploring around the town, you can do. Like, it's definitely got a slow pace to it. Like I said, there's no combat. You're sort of walking around. You know, you have the ability to run, but it's on a stamina bar. So, you know, if there's no enemies around, you can run for a pretty good time. But if there are enemies around, that meter depletes super fast, you know. So it's sort of juggling how that works. As far as, like, the game can get a little frustrating at times. You know, with some enemy, like, there's one part that really stands out where it's like I needed a key item behind this one enemy, and it was like, okay, I lure him out, but then he keeps, like, getting me afterwards, and it was just a really long run back to that area, and I was just like, this is so annoying. But luckily those were sort of far and few between. You've got, like, quick saves, like the Gaizo statues that are scattered about. You could save there. They also act as quick travel because the maps are decently large, and, like, if you were running around it the whole time, it would get a little annoying, so it is nice to have that ability to sort of bounce around the statues. But overall, I mean, and I guess I should, last thing I should comment on is just how good the sound design is in this game. There's not a ton of music, but just like, it's an integral part of the gameplay, like the core mechanics with the heartbeat and, like, listening, but, like, there's just a lot of, like, subtle, like, depending, like, different terrains you walk on and the noises they make, the creakings of, like, different things, you know, listening to the enemies scream, you know, it just, they do a really good job. Like, that in sort of hand in hand with the visual style left a lasting impression on me. Like, that's, like, the gameplay is pretty, you know, it is what it is, but, like, that's its strongest suit to me. It's just, like, they do a good job of, like, despite it being a cutesy looking game, it is, you know, still sort of sends a shiver down your spine at times.
Yep. And yeah, you can check it all out on the review. On the video review. On NWR-TV.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of a video review, we're going to be doing something right now we've done once before, and it's going to be a new fun thing, and it's a review discussion. Yeah, and so if you're watching if you're watching on YouTube now, it's me, Perry Burkum, and Casey Gibson.
Hello, hello.
And we're going to talk about the HYCARUS Bluetooth Nintendo Switch controller.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a nice name. What this is it's basically a Nintendo Switch controller that looks and feels a lot like a DualShock 4.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
A PS4 controller.
Definitely looks like, definitely gives me the DualShock vibes.
Yeah, so this is a nice controller from HYCARUS. It's $29.99. So completely wireless. It features rumble, and
So
and motion.
that's a real good price.
Right? Yeah, I mean it's half the price of a Nintendo Pro controller. But like me, I'm not a huge fan of the PS3 or PS4 controller. I mean, PS4 is a lot better. I'm just saying, like, if I was gonna pick a controller, I'd pick like Xbox 360 or Switch or Wii U over like the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
But they do something smart here with this controller. The analog sticks are like smaller, like just a little bit, like they feel easier and more accessible to play. And I actually felt really comfortable while playing all these different kinds of games. But I tested it out in tons of games like Portal Knights, and like Dark Souls, and just every game. I wanted to get a lot of dual analog games, and also with the D-pad, played some Tricky Towers and some other games with it, and it's pretty awesome. Everything feels good. Obviously, the D-pad where it is, it's kind of interesting having the D-pad where you're normally where the analog stick is. Yeah, because like a lot of games, they kind of accommodate for the analog stick being above.
And you don't have
buttons.
a PS4, right?
I did have one at once, but no, I don't have a PS4.
Okay, so
I have a PS3.
It's pretty foreign for you then, yeah, like that concept.
Yeah, definitely. But I just mean like even the Nintendo Switch games, they're designed for the analog stick, to be above the buttons, above the D-pad. But anyway, I didn't run into too much trouble like that. But the one thing about this though that I think one of the biggest things that stinks is that you cannot actually turn the Switch on from this controller.
Okay.
So
yeah, so you got to go there and press
so
that.
you'll have to have like a Joy-Con out, or or another controller.
Or just
you'll have to have
use your
another
feet.
controller to start it.
Oh, well, I
Well,
guess
yeah,
like once it's on though, if you hit that on button, then
Once
it can
it's on,
connect in.
Then you can connect. Yeah, exactly. So once it's on, even like on the startup screen, like when you have to click 3 buttons, it'll connect and go. It doesn't. You can't wake it from sleep mode, which I think is the biggest downfall here. The controller is light though, and it feels good. The quality feels great. And so I would give this a really nice high recommendation, especially if you're looking for an extra controller to play.
Budget
especially if you're
too.
Yeah, if you're looking, if you like the PS4 controller and you're going to Switch, like you have a PS4 and hey, I got a Switch, grab this controller and use it to be more, so you can switch between the two. You're probably still gonna have to deal with the A and B buttons being switched, like the X and the circle buttons, because usually stupid Dark Souls.
Oh, I
isn't
know
like
it
that
takes
anymore.
so.
I hate that.
It takes
on
such
Switch.
such a,
I
and
know.
then all of a sudden you get to another game that like is back
It
to
does
normal
A
and
for-
it uses
yeah.
a lot, and you're like, oh, now
Yeah.
I'm screwed up on what
Yeah.
I'm used to.
Exactly, but with the it'll take the definitely the comfort of or the feel of the DualShock and the DualShock 4, and take it and you can play it on Switch. You can also use this controller on a PC.
Boom. Nothing wrong with that.
And like I said, crazy, right? That it's Bluetooth and it has rumble and motion.
How is the rumble in
And it's
comparison
$30.
to is it
It's-
not as strong
I mean,
or comparable at least?
It's pretty strong. I would say it's almost comparable. It's you're not gonna get like the HD rumble. It's not like it's just kind of more of a general rumble. But it still feels good. I mean, it's still a good rumble, and so I think that's totally awesome that they have that in there. But yeah, I would highly recommend this controller for people who want to get another Pro controller, because like I said, it's half the price, and it does as long as the only caveat being that you can't turn the console on with it. So if you dock your Switch, you're going to grab one of your Joy-Cons, if you go and sit on the couch and, oh, dang it, got to get back up and go
Bobby.
turn it back on. Yeah. Dang it,
use
Bobby.
my feet.
Yep.
This is asinine.
So, yeah. Yeah. If you want to read more about it, look at more pictures and stuff like that, you can check out the review over at NintendoWorldReport.com.
Yo.com.
Anyway, thank you everyone for watching
And we're listening.
and or listening, and we'll see you later.
And I think on the podcast front, that's going to bring us to the end of what we've been playing.
That's right.
A doozy, I must say.
Oh my goodness.
And,
Woo!
yeah, I think we take a quick little breather and get right on into the old eShop, huh?
Sounds good, partner.
eHaw!
And we're back with the eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. eHaw.
And you know what that means. It means we have 33 games.
33?
33.
Holy jamoly.
So we got to get through these as quick as possible.
That's a lot of games right there, Perry.
Because remember, Casey, we have talked about every single Switch game ever on this show. And it's because we do this.
Yeah, it's because we're crazy.
Yep. So we're starting off with Bass Pro Shops The Strike Championship Edition for $39.99. No, this isn't like Street Fighter. This is a fishing game.
I don't. These humans are scary looking.
Yeah. Do you see the guy like, look at this fish that I got?
But it looks like his hand's like in its mouth.
Yeah. And, no. It's the next one.
The other guy. Yeah.
Look at the next one.
That's a
the
trophy
girl.
bass right there. That's a big old
Yeah.
bass, man. But yeah.
Well, if you like fishing, there you go. $39.99.
And if you like fishing, you might like hunting. And good thing
That's right.
Cabela's The Hunt Championship Edition is coming to the Switch too. $39.99.
That's funny.
Hunt
Bass
like
Pro
a
Shops The Strike and Cabela's The Hunt. I didn't realize are those the same company?
They must. I mean, I know Cabela's is like a. It's like a brand. Like my dad, it's like a big store, and they sell all sorts of outdoor equipment.
I know what Cabela's is, and Bass Pro Shops is the same thing.
Yeah, so maybe
But
they must. They either
it's weird how
owned by
they
the
work
same
together.
people or
they just got licensed by the same people for these games, which is really
I
interesting.
tell you what, I used to like my dad likes hunting and stuff. And
Yeah.
I've told the story of little old Casey sitting out in the snow just thinking about his Nintendo DS. but yeah,
I thought it was Game Boy Advance.
was it? It might have
Yeah.
been. Yeah, you're
was
right.
Pikmin,
You're
right?
right. Yep.
Anyway,
But yeah, I remember playing hunting games on the computer back in the
we'll
day.
talk more about that around the holidays time.
Yep. But now you can play on the go.
And also, you can play Nickelodeon Kart Racers for $39.99, featuring SpongeBob, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Rugrats.
Reptar.
Man, this game looks nice. It looks just fine.
Look, yeah,
Looks
Ninja
like Mario
Turtles.
Kart.
How did they get
Why
in there?
not?
They're not
I don't know.
Nickelodeon.
1 to 4 players. There we go. Next up, we have
Paw
Patrol.
on a roll, baby.
On a roll. My
We're on a
nephew's
roll of
favorite.
$39.99 games right here.
I know. What's so weird? This is my nephew's favorite show ever, or it was at one point. This game doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
It's a cute looking game. Has a whale, a beached whale, with a firefighter dog shooting it with water, and it's happy. So
Interesting. Well, this next game, little better value, I'm willing to bet. Windjammers for $14.99, and
Yes.
this is
It's a week.
classic.
yeah, this is the Neo Geo game, I believe.
But
Right.
like brought up to, I don't know, was it
But
Neo Geo?
it's-
But it's brought up
yeah,
to
I think
speed. I know
so.
it's got online and stuff too. Yeah, originally
And I've heard
released
the
on
online-
Neo Geo, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
So
I've heard this
they're
game.
ripping us off.
Yeah, $14.99.
Actually, yeah, any Neo Geo games that has upgraded with actual online multiplayer would be amazing.
From what I
Like-
hear, it's a really fun game.
Oh yeah, it's a cult classic, and the sequel's coming out. It's so cult.
Windjammers.
It's so cult. There's a sequel.
Ooh,
Next
baby.
up for $39.99
Back
again.
on the train, baby.
Just Dance 2019. That's all we need to say. So let's move on.
I bet you it
to-
came out for Wii as well.
It did.
Yep. Moving along,
Next
we've
up-
got Deployment for $9.99.
Mm-hmm.
Deployment is an
And this-
intense, competitive, top-down shooter game.
There's only 3 screenshots.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
mean,
really show you too much.
it looks
cool,
sort
though.
of cool though from the limited screenshots. $9.99.
Yeah,
Not,
it looks like a cool kind of like a twin stick shooter
yeah.
with a cyber space aesthetic. So $9.99 looks cool.
Boom, boom.
But we also have word puzzles for $19.99, and those are this is a little different. It's word searches, but there's also ones where you actually make that's kind of cool. Like you make words, kind of like like a worm
Jumbled
or like
up.
a maze, like a maze, like you're going, like it's not necessarily in a straight line. So it looks cool.
Yeah, that looks like a couple
1999.
different puzzle games.
Can't go wrong with word puzzle games. What you can go wrong with is with Urban Trial Playground Deluxe Edition, possibly. I believe you reviewed this, right? The earlier one?
I did, yeah. I'm looking at it. It
Not
looks...
Playground, though, right?
No, this looks like this is just a bundle. Because
Okay.
it's in the contents of the bundle. You got Urban Trial Playground, and then you've got the downloadable content, even more style pack and challenges pack, and it looks like I've already got the base game downloaded. So this is
That's
just
so weird.
I guess
Yeah.
this is just to get back in, like the hey, ladies and gentlemen, you can still buy
It's very
this
interesting because there's $5 worth of DLC. The base game is $19.99, but this bundle is $17.99. So there you go.
game. Some savings.
Yep. Next up, we have Chicken Range.
Shoot
from
as
Funbox.
many chicken eggs as you can before you get covered in eggs, Perry.
Yep.
You're
and this
always
looks like-
covered in egg, aren't you?
This looks like someone
I
made it.
I thought it was all cutesy wootsy, and then I look and
my
it's like,
goodness.
look at the choose your weapons page. The guns, like, it's like a very like funny comical art
Yeah.
style, and then these guns look pretty real.
Super realistic.
$24.99.
You know what is super realistic? Is the price. That's $25. Oh my! So you could get this or Dead Cells.
I tell you one thing, yeah, not to put any games down here, but that one won't be my pick of the week. I have a feeling.
Yeah, probably
But
not.
next up here, we've got Fairy Tale Puzzles, Magic Objects for $9.99.
That's
Let's see what
It's
we
like
got
an
here. This
isometric
little
puzzle game? Or like a strategy game? Puzzle.
Yeah, it says puzzly. It sort of looks like a Qbert board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
It's kind of cool.
There you
Why
go.
not?
Moving along, you've got Cyper.
No.
Wow, super.
Super.
That actually it would be cooler if it was Cyper. Super
would be.
Hyperactive Ninja for $8.99. If you run out of
yeah.
coffee, it's game over.
My friend Julia is reviewing this for the for NWR, and yeah, she said like it all runs on caffeine. So it's like if your caffeine runs out, then you'll die. So you gotta collect like things of coffee, which I think is really funny.
Yeah, it actually looks
art
sort of
style's
cool.
pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she mentioned something like where it's all on one. Basically, there's kind of like one way to play it, and if you kind of veer off the path, then like you're not gonna be able to because of the caffeine. I think it's something like that, but just read more. Her review should be up pretty soon. So, anywho, next up we have Eternum for $12.99. Eternum EX, excuse me.
Don't forget
Sir Arthur
that
has
EX,
gotten
baby.
old, too old. Help him find eternal youth. And this is a side-scrolling.
Looks like a Super Nintendo
retro-looking-
game, yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Look at this game. It reminds me of like a Super Ghouls and Ghosts, or it actually reminds me a lot of the Cursed Castilla game. But yeah, looks fun. The worst part about this game is the cover art that says Eternum EX.
Yeah.
It's just kind of scary and weird looking.
Like,
But anyway,
yeah.
Sir Arthur has gotten old.
I know Sir Arthur looks like he's ready to kick some keister in that
Yep.
first picture. But moving along here, we've got Puzzle Wall for $7.99, and yeah, strike a pose and fit yourself through the wall. Oh,
Hey, yeah, this is like Muscle March.
I was gonna say it sort of there was a game show that used to do
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That was a game show. $7.99. Your animals. Next up, we have
Your-
Storm in a teacup, and it's a magical teacup ride. A boy, a dream, and an enchanted teacup. It's time for an exciting experience you'll never forget.
Well, I tell you
looks
what,
like it's a
33 games. 33
Wow.
games. The quality of these games debatable this week so far.
yeah.
Maybe
Interesting.
the latter half will pick it up.
I love that you collect sugar cubes, though. That's really funny. For your pet, because he's in a teacup. That's really funny. It's $2.99. Looks cute.
Moving
next
along
up,
here, we've got Dracula's
Dracula's
Legacy for $19.99. A good old-fashioned adventure game, but it's also
the best kind, the mystery hidden object puzzle adventure game.
It's funny they dub it in the genres here as a board game as well, but from these screens I don't see any board
No,
game
it's just
elements.
a poke around the screen and find stuff, and
Casey's
Boy.
least favorite kind of game.
Yeah. Next up, we have Arcade Archives Alpha Mission.
Ooh, I played
Which
Alpha Mission 2.
Yeah, it's a good game. I've played it as well. It's fun. This is the prequel.
Good
to
old
that,
shoot 'em up, baby.
$7.99. Can't go wrong with an arcade shoot 'em up. Next up, we have Car Quest, which
Car Quest.
is a very funny name to me, I think.
Well, is it, or
and,
do you think?
I think it's a funny name. And it looks very generic and basic and interesting and weird. And your narrator that talks to you it reminds me of that 80s music video that I can't think of right now. Anyway,
Moving along.
drive, collect, explore, solve, discover. Boosh.
Star Tide for $9.99. This looks like a shoot 'em up, but let's see. Play as an elite pilot driving the Interstellar Recon Mecha, geared with a unique set of weapons and special abilities. Looks
I don't
like you
even
get
know what's happening on the screens here, you know?
Yeah, it definitely looks like some sort of shoot 'em up, but maybe a more modern take on it with some customization or customability, if you will, to your ship here. $9.99.
There we go.
Looks all right. Looks all right.
Looks all right. Looks like a PS2 game. Next up, we have Luke and Rebecca, which is a really great name. For $7.99, it's 20% off. And this is a what do they call it? An action puzzle adventure. Looks like each map has, and you can play co-op here. And you know what it reminds me of? Four Swords. This reminds me of Four Swords, where you're kind of walking around, and I think you're trying to figure out puzzles and stuff for yourself.
I actually think the art style is pretty cool
Quite
too.
eclectic. Yeah.
Interesting. It looks better than you might think initially. But anyway,
Okay.
next up here we've got Black and White Bushido for $13 even.
Ooh, that's an unlucky number for Halloween.
It comes with a Nintendo exclusive level. We're seeing.
Oh,
in the
dude, this game
screens
looks
here.
freaking sweet.
At first, I was thinking it was.
Looks cool.
Do you remember the old comic Black vs. White? That was in like
Nope.
the Mad magazines.
Oh, yeah.
The Black
Isn't
and
that
White
Spy vs. Spy?
or Spy vs. Was it okay? Spy vs. Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the one black and the one white spy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I used to
Yep.
love that comic. I used to
me
be
too,
all
dude.
about the
This
Mad
is-
magazine back in the heyday.
Yes, totally.
But whenever my dad would bring it home, I'd be like, yes! And it was pretty much
I know,
always
man.
for the Spy vs. Spy.
I know, I love that one too. Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
Great moms.
Anyway,
think
this game looks
alike.
cool.
But yeah, this game looks
Yep.
it looks pretty
Gym
cool.
minds think a gym.
So what exactly? Yeah, fighting little. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty
Kind
cool.
of reminds me of M+, yeah. Next up,
Well, it's truly a week now.
truly a week. I would have sidled with the other one. 'Cause
Oh, me
technically
too. Yeah, it still would have counted.
Yeah, but we have a Neo Geo game, Savage Rain. Which,
Great name.
That's amazing.
Well, what is it? Is it a shoot 'em up, a beat 'em up, or a sports game? What?
It's a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Or, no, it's a fighter. Yeah.
But look at
And
this Joker,
the Joker guy with the bouncy hammer.
and he's like got a ripped six-pack, and he's got a big nose, and he's on
And
rollerblades.
rollerblades. Oh man, wonderful! This game looks fantastic. It really
I
does.
love that fighting games were so bananas back in the day. It was like, well, let's
Yeah.
just make all these weird characters.
Yeah, so weird.
Next up, we've got Johnny Turbo's Arcade bringing Heavy Burger for $19.99.
Dude, I could go for a heavy burger right now. Seriously.
Me too. I gotta go food shopping after this. It might just be one on the docket. But
You know what I could go for right now?
a Whopper?
Yep.
I mean,
Talk Nintendo podcast
if
brought
that-
to you by Burger
yeah,
King.
if that question was ever not answered with a Whopper, I'd just smack you.
Yeah, good. I would expect you. Ooh, or like a bacon Whopper.
Oh,
Baby.
well, did you see
Now,
the
I like the
Nightmare-
billiard table.
Did you see the Nightmare Whopper or the Nightmare Burger?
Oh no.
It's got green bun, a burger patty, and a chicken patty all on one. For the Halloween Nightmare Fest, as you will.
That does sound like a nightmare. Now, nightmare. Back to Heavy Burger. Did you see the billiard table? I don't know what's going on in this game, but this game looks amazing.
I don't think. I mean, we played Super Burger Time for the
I don't
Patreon
think this has
plays.
anything to do with that, does it?
I don't. Well, the thing is, Super Burger Time is a super weird game too. I just think they were just throwing burgers in any game and just making it whatever back in the day. You know.
Weird. Well,
but yeah,
I think this is a bunch of different games.
Yeah, I just
because
looks.
It's 1999, and there is the
I don't know what is going on.
I don't know what's going on, guys. Just check it out. Check out Heavy Burger.
Great name.
It really is. Next up we have it's loading
1001 Ultimate Mahjong 2 for $9.99. The power of Mahjong multiplied by 1001.
All right, I think we get
That's
that.
all you need to know.
And there's another half the price word puzzles game. Just like the same people that made before, but it probably has less levels.
I swear it's the same screenshots.
I know. And it has the download demo. You can get a demo for it, too.
There you go. You also got Fly O'Clock for $1.99. How long will you survive on the clock face while jumping as fast as you can?
Okay.
It actually looks like
game
it
looks
seems
really
like
cute.
a clever idea, yeah. And you know what? $1.99, nice, inexpensive.
And it's 4 players, I believe. Yeah.
Yep,
4
some
player
multiplayer
for
fun.
$2. Why the heck not?
They should choose a different font color. It's got the teal blue background with the yellow font. Difficult to read. Difficult.
Yep. Next up, Suicide Guy, sleeping deeply.
Alrighty.
Suicide Guy for $5.99. And this is an interesting looking game. I can't tell what it is by the screenshots, but it's an adventure puzzle action platformer. So apparently it's a platformer.
I like it looks like you're on like a beach. You know, you got beautiful palm trees, you know, and then there's just a beer mountain in the background.
Yeah, just a huge bottle of beer. That is funny.
That game looks
$5.99.
crazy.
Looks cute. Looks cute. Oh my goodness.
Here's the game of the week, baby.
Game of the year.
You can do the honors, Perry. I'm too excited to.
I don't know if I can.
Game of the year material, Aqua TV is now available on the Switch, so you can watch that goodness, that beautiful Aqua TV goodness.
They got rid of the DLC though, and they just made it $10 instead of.
Well, you're
it
officially getting more bang for your buck.
You're officially getting more bang for your buck.
You
Thank you very
dirty
much.
dog. Yes.
Dirty dog fish.
There you have it. Yeah. You know,
There's a dogfish.
It's so funny.
That's a thing.
This might be now that we've sort of migrated all of our YouTube stuff over to Nintendo World Report TV. I just typed in the Aqua TV Wii U gameplay. We've got 652 views. Although someone beat us to the punch, the first 13 minutes on Nintendo Switch first look of Aqua TV.
That's funny. Well, this is a historic game for our podcast, and this is proof that there once was a time where Casey had enough time to buy and download Aqua TV and play it and talk about it on the podcast. And if that doesn't show you where we are now,
the good old days, man.
Wow, the good old days.
What I wouldn't do to go back to my parents' house playing Aqua TV.
That's so funny.
Good luck.
Oh man. Next up, though, we have Pinstripe for $14.99. An ex-minister ventures through the frozen depths of hell in search of his kidnapped daughter, and this game looks really cool. It is a puzzle platformer.
Oh, don't be such a pissy wissy.
Sheesh. Oh, it's Mr. Pinstripe. Yeah, I actually have a code. The developers did they send you a code?
I think they might have.
Yeah.
I'm in like the onslaught of games right now, so I'm like.
I know.
I'm like,
But I've heard
as
good
much as
things
it's a great thing, but it's like, oh, I've already got.
I've heard good things from the Nindersect, Justination. So
J Nash.
$14.99. Maybe we'll get to that. Oh my goodness, there's still so many games. Oh my goodness.
Next up, we've got Deadbolt, $9.99. This is an extremely challenging stealth action hybrid that allows you to take control of the Reaper to kill some undeads. Yeah, it actually looks pretty cool. Very
It does look cool.
simplistic art style. Like,
Very
you
small
know, like,
font.
yeah, very small levels, because it's like a zoomed out version. You know, you can see a bunch of rooms. Yeah, looks sort of cool.
Looks cool. $9.99. Next up, we have 7 Billion Humans. This is the new game from the Tomorrow Corporation. The guys that made
Human Fall
all the
Flat,
other
right?
ones.
And
No, not
not-
Human Fall Flat. No.
no, I get pictured.
the
I can't think
stupid
of the
game?
name.
Well,
You can just click on Tomorrow Corporation. Little
What in the
Inferno,
heck?
World of Goo, and Human
Thank
Resource
you. World
Machine.
of Goo. Little Inferno, yes. So, which Little Inferno and Human Resource Machine are, and I'm assuming World of Goo are all on sale. And 7 Billion Humans is the new sequel. So I don't know anything about it, but I do like World of Goo. And I've heard good stuff about the other ones, so we'll see. $14.99, there you go. Next up, though.
Friday the 13th, Killer Puzzle. It's $19.99, currently on sale. $16.99. That sale ends November 5th, so you got some time.
This is like an isometric. Is it a? It's like a turn-based game, puzzle strategy game.
It actually looks pretty
Interesting.
cool. Like, it's got like a different. They almost look like pop figures, like the characters.
Yeah.
Like, not quite chibi, but like, I guess their head
Yeah,
isn't
I've
as
heard-
big as pop. But
I think we have a review on the site for this, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody played it. I think Neil
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, that's what I feel like, and I want to see. Oh yes, okay. Let me just check because it's right here. He gave it a good review. Yeah, I thought I heard good things about it. So yeah, check it out. If you're you're gonna hear this after Halloween, but that's okay. Still scary. Next up, we have Pianista, the legendary virtuoso. And that is for how much, Case?
$19.99, which is on sale, down from $24.99. And this looks like Guitar Hero.
Yeah, but with pianos.
I love, like, it shows you like it's sort of that classical Guitar Hero view, and then the next screenshot it's like Beethoven, Mozart.
That's great.
It actually looks pretty cool. I bet you it's pretty sweet.
I bet you're right.
Next up, though, we've got 911 Operator Bundle, $22 even. You get the base game, which is $14.99, plus $10 worth of DLC content. So you save a couple pennies there.
There you go.
And I guess this game is a strategy game, right? Sort of dealing with taking in calls and dispatching people. I feel like this probably could be a pretty cool game, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, what's next?
Next up, though, we've got Freaky Awesome for $12.99. This is a roguelite with randomly generated environments, permadeath, and a whole lot of gradually unlocked content.
Mm-hmm. And it is game developers are fans of such games as Binding of Isaac and Broforce. It says that in the description. But Freaky Awesome raises the degree of madness. So there you go.
There you go.
It looks good. Looks cool.
Yeah, it actually does look pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. Next up, though, we have 911 Operator, which is the same thing.
$14.99.
Yep.
Moving along.
Next up,
timely game here.
perfect. Halloween Pinball for
The
$179.
most entertaining pinball is back.
The most entertaining, huh? It's 10% off for $179. There's a big skull with big eyes. Find the path, mouth, open. Okay.
Boom. Next up, though, we've
pinball.
got My Hero 1's Justice for $59.99.
From Bandai Namco, from the makers of Super Smash Bros.
Yep. They have this also fighting game, which they don't show you any screens of the fighting. It's just all cutscenes and stuff. But
It's all anime fun.
anime.
Anime.
The old anime fun.
It's $59.99. There you go.
And if that wasn't enough money for you, we've got Tennis World Tour Legends Edition, $74.99. This bundle
Amazing.
comes with base game plus a whole bunch of DLC, like a whole bunch of DLC.
Again, with like no screenshots.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to get the DLC, you can get the original, the nice version for $59.99.
It looks like that one might be close to a screenshot. Yeah, I mean, I guess
there's like one. Yeah.
If you want a more realistic tennis game, that might be your best bet there.
Yep. Next up, we have Sky Scrappers, and I have this game.
Frantic vertical action or arcade combat. I pressed the button and I combined them.
Gotcha. I will talk about this next week.
Boom, I like it. That can't be your play of the week. Next up here, we've got Sports Party, $39.99. Sports Party brings the sun, the sea, and sports right to your fingertips, Perry. Jet skis.
Look at those happy people.
Golf. Frisbees.
Yeah, looks fun.
Slam and
I feel
dunks.
like that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
It's the $39.99.
It's a big old tag, baby.
Yep. Next up, though, Demon's Crystals for $14.99. It's a frenetic twin-stick shooter where you guide the Yurikan demons through countless hazards in order to restore peace to the world. Okay, kind of looks like Tesla versus Lovecraft, you know?
Yeah, looks pretty cool, actually.
It does, not bad. Next up, though, what do we got?
We have Trivial Pursuit Live!
Yeah. There's a demo. It's $19.99. It's from Ubisoft. It's Trivial Pursuit. I think we all know that that's a trivia game. Hey, Casey, what is a guitarist's plastic plucker called?
Is that a pick?
A plectrum, a flectrum, a vlectrum, or a sectrum?
I think it's Risk Global Domination for 19.
I think that I've played guitar for 20 years and I have no idea. I'm gonna assume plectrum.
Yeah, like cause sort of like
it's called a pick, but anyway.
Do you know? What?
It's gotta.
Do you know what a tarp actually stands for? Like
what a tarp stands for?
Like think of like a tarp. Like you know what I'm talking about. A tarp, you cover stuff. You know, like
yeah.
Do you know what that's short for?
No.
Tarpanel.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, I bet that's in. There you go. You're training people for Trivial Pursuit.
Yep, that's a fun little factoid, you know. There you go.
That is a good fun. A tarpanel.
Tarpanel, because it sounds almost like medicine, doesn't it? Like, oh, I gotta take my tarpanel.
Yep. Casey, you're the tarpanel to my heart.
Yeah, you're the tarpanel to my field when it's raining. Next up, though, we've got Risk Global Domination, $19.99.
Again, from Ubisoft, and it has a demo, and it's Risk, and it looks like a well-made Risk adaptation.
Were you a Risk man growing up?
No.
That was
I played a few games. It was fun. Like I liked it. I never got super into it.
That was like the game we always had Risk, and it was always like someone would want to play it, but no one would ever want to commit to the 18 hours it took to play, you know?
Yeah.
But like I definitely do remember playing a couple times with like my parents and my brother. Stratego, that's a good one, but
Stratego. I was into Stratego.
Stratego's nice because it's like it's quick enough, you know, but like not short, you know, it hits that nice that nice point. But
I love Stratego. I haven't played it forever. Anyway, next up. This is Jeopardy!
Woo! $19.99, baby.
Yep.
Ooby.
Answer. The Daily Double. Okay, next up we have what you talked about earlier, Yomawari, The Long Night Collection for $39.99. That's 2 games in 1. We talked about it a bunch. Go back and listen if you want to hear more about it.
Or if you want to hear it again. Moving on, though.
Okay, KO.
Let's Play Heroes for $19.99. And yes, the OK KO was part of the title here.
Yep.
Based on the hit Cartoon Network show.
Oh, okay. This is a Cartoon Network show.
I had no idea.
Know that. Yep, from Adult Swim Games. There we go.
There you have it.
All right. Well, we have Gal Metal for $29.99 from Marvelous. Take down alien invaders with the power of metal.
Woo!
And it's a bunch of gals playing metal music.
Throwing down.
And alien octopi. So weird, man. So weird. But
more game show fun though coming up.
Woo! I love the wheel. In fact, I missed the wheel because we recorded earlier tonight.
Do you really watch the wheel that
Cassie
often?
Gibson. Of course. Well, not that often. I try to when I can. I love the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, we've been watching. Caitlin's been into the old Cash Cab lately.
Oh, dude, I love Cash Cow.
And they played a ton on the Game Show Network.
I gotta tell you, you can make your own contestant on this game, and it's really scary looking. Man, this game's scary looking. Yeesh.
You can buy his clothes.
$19.99, and there's no demo. Anyway,
next
down
up,
to our
though,
last 4 games.
Thank
Case.
goodness. We're in Mutant Football League Destiny Edition. Dynasty, excuse me. $29.99. I was gonna see what DLC it includes, but it doesn't. I guess that's just the.
Yeah.
I guess it's been out for a while on other systems.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're a bunch of mutants, and you're playing spike football.
Yeah, you know what? I think
it's football with spikes.
I think the Nation actually said it was surprisingly
good.
fun. Yeah.
And this is coming out physically.
Ooh, so Perry might buy it.
And right now, you could pre-order it and get it for the buy 2 get 1 free on Target. Because I was looking at that. I was like, nah.
Yeah. Moving along, though, we're on the last line of the eShop Roundup here.
My goodness. Steven Universe.
Save the light for $24.99. Join the crystal gems on the ultimate quest, Perry.
All right.
That's all you need to know. Yeah, I don't.
It's kind of it's super cute art style.
Adult Swim Games again.
Yeah. It's a real time and turn based. It's an RPG hybrid with real time and turn based combat. It looks cool. It looks really pretty. Really nice art. So all right. Save the light. $24.99. Now I love Legos and I love Harry Potter and I love 2 of the games and I wish there was a collection on Switch that had both of the games on them.
Well, I've got good news for you, Perry. Lego Harry Potter Collection, $49.99. That includes Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4, and then years 5 through 7 remastered.
Gotcha.
I tell you what, it probably would be fun. I bet you Caitlin would love this game.
I was just gonna say, look, there you go, get it for Kate. She loves Harry Potter.
And I tell you what, those Lego games are generally pretty darn fun.
Never played one.
Really? Didn't you get Undercover?
Nope.
You should. You could probably get that because that came to Switch too. I'm pretty sure you could get that super duper cheap.
Yep. I know I can. I'm not going to.
So what you waiting for, Jimmy?
I have no time, and
it is like an open world game too. I tell you what though, don't undersell those Lego games, man. They're pretty fun.
I'm not underselling them.
You're underselling them.
Something I really, really, really do want to play though is Save Me, Mr. Taco, Tasukete Taco-san, which I think it's just Save Me.
A blast from the portable gaming past.
Yep. Oh, this game looks so good. So good.
It does.
It looks
it's
like
so
a Game
cute.
Boy game.
It's so cute.
It's so cute, and I really want to play it so bad.
Now, talk about a good thumbnail, you know?
Yeah.
Nailed it. I can't...
Wait, which thumbnail?
Like the very first picture, you know? Where it's like the one with the sword and he's blue, and then you got the ones in the back.
Gotcha.
Like, or, you know, a title, whatever.
I was like, the one that doesn't show you how the game looks?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
No, I mean, I think like those are cute too, but I'm just like, you know, boom, boom.
Yep. This game looks so cool. I'm going to get this game. It looks so cool.
So I guess that's a lock for your pick of the week, huh?
It sure is. Yes. And everyone should go check out Jordan's review on NWR-TV. It's really good. You can see the game in action. And yeah, I'm excited to play this game. But yes, this is my pick of the week. What is your pick of the week,
Well,
Case?
you knew that coming into this week, you Jimmy.
Oh, wait, knew what?
That we all knew this was your pick of the week before we even got to the eShop.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Then I'll pick something else.
No, it can still roll. It can still roll.
No.
I usually...
No.
I'll tell you mine, because I don't think it'll be the one you're going to pick. And you already blew your chance at the first opportunity.
Well, okay.
I'm going Demon's Crystals.
The
twin-stick shooter. Like I said, it like very colorful. Looks pretty cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
There were a couple.
I'll go.
There were a couple games that could have taken the crown. Like
I'll go with Windjammers.
The Jams.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That game looks like a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Yep.
33 games.
Man, sheesh.
I think I need a nap.
I seriously do need a nap, but we must keep going on because it's our favorite time of the week, and that is
The YouTube Saloon.
Yes, sir. It is time to stop at the old saloon and grab ourselves.
what do we
a
have
drink.
here?
We've got a whole
What's the soup du
hodgepodge.
jour?
We got a whole hodgepodge, a smorgasbord of things here.
A buffet?
A buffet.
So what do we got? I'm really interested in seeing like the multiplayer from Diablo 3.
Well, then you are in luck, my friend, because we've got a 30-minute vidya up there of the four of us. As I mentioned before, we jumped in, we recorded, we played about, like I said, a half hour in the beginning of Act 2, up to like the first mini boss in that act as well. So it's a nice chunk of video. You can see sort of, I tried to mess around with my skills a little bit to sort of give you guys a little idea of what that is. And I completely forgot to mention real quick, sidebar, on the Diablo 3 front, very, very, very surprised at how well it translates to a controller. Because obviously I've always been a mouse and keyboard guy playing it on the PC. It works great on a controller. But
good to know.
I digress. The video's up there for you guys to check out, which is cool.
Now, what if I want to see some videos of some reviews that you've done?
Well, then you are in luck. It's your lucky week, Perry, because we've got the Yomawari reviews up there, and unfortunately, I could not talk about Moonlighter on this episode, which comes out this Friday. The embargo is not up until Friday, so I cannot speak about it. But you can check my review over on YouTube, Nintendo World Report TV on YouTube. I'll have the review up there for that, and I think you guys will want to check out that review. But
all right,
we also have a new semi-recurring little segment that's going up there as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, technically, if you're listening to this,
it might not be that interesting.
You've probably already heard it, but yes, I will have our review discussion up there with complete with pictures. So
yeah, no, that's always good to sort of see, because I'm sure you'll have some pics up there, sort of comparing it next to the Pro Controller and stuff.
Yep.
So it'll
you
definitely
got that
be,
right, Cassie Gibbons.
Yep. It'll be worth checking out again for some cool pics.
That's right. And now, unfortunately, we haven't been able to record any challenges as of late. I've had some, I've had a death actually in the family that it's been taking a lot of stuff a lot of time, and we haven't got able, but they are coming, everyone. Don't worry.
Yeah, it seems to be with they come and they go. We get like a good rhythm of where like we get like a month or two of them coming out, and then we sort of take a little breather.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that obviously very unfortunate on your end, and then just busy, time.
Yeah, just busy, but they're coming. Don't worry,
rough,
anymore.
But yeah, we're gonna get in there. Who knows? Maybe get some Diablo. I mean, it won't not be a challenge, but it'll be a fun video we could put up there too. And
we can make it a challenge.
Yeah. See,
how many times can I get Cassie to die?
None, because I'm unkillable. But
all right,
that's enough of that YouTube Saloon. My whistle is wet. I've wet my whistle, and I am ready to talk some news.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Now, the internet was ablaze with rumors of all sorts with Smash characters. The Grinch-related leak and
everyone knows about this too.
Yeah, so it's like, oh yeah. At this point, it's old hat, but a Nintendo Direct was announced for Thursday, which, like I said, or like Perry said, at this point you've all listened to most likely and know all of that news.
Everything.
Yeah, they're laughing at us as we sit here. But what's cool is 40 minutes, 40-minute Direct on Smash plus a treehouse afterwards, which is
what the heck?
The treehouse afterwards is Diablo. I think.
Boring.
Smash, Diablo, yeah. Pokemon, right? I think it was Pokemon.
Boring.
And what was the other one? Oh, Yoshi.
Yoshi's Crafted World. That's what I want
to see some gameplay, baby.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
I wonder, that could be, I could see that being a January or February game. And then us getting a release
January's Mario, I believe. which I'm super
So
excited
maybe
for.
on February might be a good spot for
I
it.
could see it. I could see it.
And
but
that would be
weird that they didn't talk about it.
But, you know, they announce release date in November, you know, for 2 months, give or take.
Yeah, that would work.
3 months. Yeah, that'd be cool. Now, moving along.
It's already done, like you said, so.
Yeah, everyone, yeah. Like I said, I don't think it would be worth anything us covering until next week. I'm sure there'd be some cool...
We might even do something the night of, if we can, if there's something to talk about.
Yeah, if there's something groundbreaking. But I imagine there'll be some new character reveals, and they'll go into that single-player mode.
Yep. I hope it's Smash Run. Okay, next up. Big news, especially for Resident Evil fans. Wait, the Resident Evil remake is?
Yeah, like the first one.
Is it the remake, or is it just...
Well, yeah, that they don't...
Oh, that came out on the GameCube, is that...
Yeah.
Right? Gotcha. And then Resident Evil 0 and... Resident Evil 4 will launch on the Switch next year, 2019. Woo!
Yes, sir.
I am excited for 4. 4 is a good game.
4 is an incredible game. The original one's incredible as well. And I'll be honest, I've played Resident Evil 0, but I never beat it. You know what? That's one of those ones that relied on, like, hey, you're switching partners. And, like, back in the day, I was like, grumble, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll go back and play it on the Switch, but I'll definitely be playing Resident Evil 4. You know, and then probably at some point, like, I don't know, like, right when it comes out, like, the original one, but I always get a craving at some point to play that. And if I could play it on the go, although, let's be honest, these are better docked up to the TV in a dark room than in a a car full of light. I don't remember my Resident Evil revelations under my blanket in the car?
Yes.
I don't want to play it like that.
You're a sick man. No. But I think it's time for the dumb story of the day.
You mean the best story? Oh. You mean the best story of the day?
Exactly. I mean dumb in the good way of dumb.
Why don't you lead the charge on this bad boy?
20 years later, the city of Topeka, Kansas will once again be renamed not Topeka, but Topeka-Chu to celebrate Let's Go.
That's amazing. Because remember, didn't they? Isn't that when they had
yes,
the little
with
Pikachu
Beth
bug? Yep, Beth Llewellyn.
We had her on the show.
That was so funny that like how that all like
that was the weirdest thing.
Just taking a breather
from Has Been Heroes.
Yeah.
What in the world was that?
So funny.
That was so weird. So yeah, this is amazing. So
good.
That's about it, though. I mean,
yeah, there's not much more into it. Just
Topeka, right? Yeah. Topeka-Chu.
Topeka-Chu. Just
get it?
Just a cool little thing, you know. Good old Nintendo. They're really diving.
But what
into
about
the
Eevee?
Nostalgia. Yeah.
Which town would be Eevee?
CV. To Eevee Mountain.
Every CVS pharmacy is EVS pharmacy.
There's a lot of EVSs around. All right, moving along. We've got sales figures, everyone's favorite.
Hey, it's episode 111. And guess how much software has been sold on the Switch?
Well, will you look at that? We'll get in that one. Just that's a little teaser for you folks out there. Before we get into the software, though, the Switch has reached 22.86 million units, surpassing the GameCube at 22 million.
Mm-hmm.
Not too shabby. I think
not too scabby at all.
The next one on the pecking order is the N64, which I think
it's gonna hit it.
I think that was in the 30s, right? N64 lifetime sales. Let's see. 20.63 in America and then 6.75 in other regions. So actually not it should surpass that probably this Christmas.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, getting into the sales, as Perry alluded to, 111 million units of software sold. You've got Odyssey at 12.17 million. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 11.71 million.
Oh my god.
Breath of the Wild at 10.28 million.
Splatoon 2 at 7.47 mil.
This next one, Perry, what?
1-2 Switch at 2.64 million.
The perks of, I'm telling you, man, if Fast RMX put their freaking game on the shelves at launch, they would have sold a million. They would have sold a million, especially at $30. You know, that was it's $20, right? So you upcharge.
No, I would have bought it for $60.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even if they, but like, imagine they put a $40 game there, they would have sold a million copies.
Yep, I know. Next up, Aces, Mario Tennis Aces, 2.16 million.
Nothing wrong with that, baby.
Yeah, and then Arms, 2.1 million. Amazing. Next up, Kirby Star Allies, 2.1 mil, same as Arms. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze at 1.67 million.
And this last one's my
just
favorite.
Under that, which is what?
Xenoblade 2, 1.53 million.
Amazing.
Big old Japanese RPG, 1.53 million, baby. Xenoblade 3, when are we gonna get you?
And what's crazy is, according to Donald, Super Mario Party has already sold 1.5 million.
And that's only going to freaking climb when the holiday season rolls around. I mean, obviously a lot of these will. Odyssey's going to keep selling. Mario Kart 8's going to sell. Pretty much not 1-2 Switch. Aces, I think, will probably do well. Arms, probably not.
Well, 1-2 Switch is being bundled, so it will be sold.
Oh, with the controller, right? Is that still?
No, with the Switch system. It's being bundled with Aces, so they're going to be...
Okay, yeah, those will keep climbing.
Yep.
I mean, all of them should definitely keep climbing, but obviously I think the top part of that list will continue to fly off the shelves as more Switches keep going out the door.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, moving on to some other news. The end of the news here, we got a couple tidbits before we go. Civilization 6 will have touch controls, which is
good.
Definitely a good thing. Are you gonna get? I don't think you're gonna get Civilization, but are you?
No idea.
Yeah, you know what it is. I would like to, but that is the epitome of a game you need to put a lot of time into. Because it's like,
that's probably why not.
But
here I am playing Dark Souls, you know.
But like, it's so different because it's like, I bought Civ 4, and I swear I played 2 games. That's it, my entire. But like that was probably like 30 hours of gameplay.
Oh yeah.
It's like each game takes a real long time, you know. So it's like
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would love to, but I just don't think it could ever happen. Not these days.
But what could happen is you buying the next Wolfenstein that apparently will release on Switch.
Ooh-wee. Yes, sir. I really enjoyed Wolfenstein 2, and I will definitely be... I just hope it's more day and date. Like, it would be sweet if it hit that day and date with, you know, all the other consoles. Or at minimum, like a smaller window, you know. But... Yeah. You know what? I don't think they obviously planned the Switch version originally, so that would make sense why there was a lag between the two. If they're already planning on it, you know, hopefully they're able to achieve that.
Yeah. And yeah, even we'll see with Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's going to be good too. But yeah, they did say that Fallout 76 would not be doable on the Switch. I think that's probably more because the game is very online centric. Yeah. I still feel like a Fallout 4 could come at some point. I mean, it's at this point, I think it's like a 3-year-old game. You know, I think they like some Fallout. It wouldn't surprise me to be represented, and that isn't Shelter on the Switch at some point. And our last little bit here: a Sega Ages Phantasy Star launches out October 31st, aka yesterday. If you're listening to this when it releases. Or any time you listen to this, it will already be out. But what's cool is they're adding some new features, including a new little map option, which I guess makes it much easier.
On this old Sega game?
Yep. Yeah, they're adding new features into it.
That's so fun.
Because I guess in the dungeons it was pretty easy to get lost, so now they have like a new, easier map system, and I guess new like options to list all the items and gear, so it's easier to sort through and stuff. So it's pretty cool that they're going back and giving a little love to
it.
these old games.
I love.
I mean, that's what they should do. Like
Yes.
especially in a game like Phantasy Star, where I don't know how. I mean, I guess I could look how long it would be, but I imagine it's an RPG. It's probably a pretty long game. Yeah, 18 hours. It's like, if people are going to be playing this, like, it's worth the investment to go back and do some some quality of life things to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But yeah, that's going to bring us to the news. The first news section we've had in a while, which is nice. And obviously, it'll be back next week, as we know at least. We'll be talking about some Smash stuff and some Yoshi stuff. And whatever else crops up.
But since we're done with the news, that means we can get into our last segment, which is Listener Mail.
Listener mail. Yeah.
Oh,
Listener mail?
yeah, baby.
Yeah. I love when we get listener mail. I love. Remember, if you have any, mail is the best, and you can send it to Talk Nintendo Podcast at NintendoReport.com, or Perry at NintendoReport.com, or Casey at NintendoReport.com, or you can tweet us at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo
P-O-D.
Just like Jonathan Boyden, our man.
Boy. Our boy.
Yep, Jonathan Boyden, our man. He he says, "Boys, love the show as always since number one."
We love you too.
That's why he's our man. See, he was a boy.
Yeah, he's grown to a
but
man.
now he's a man.
It only took 110 eps, and on the 111th, he became a man.
Yep. Had a couple of questions. Number one, and let's just name one question, and then we'll talk through it and go to number two.
I like that idea.
Number one, do you have a game budget in terms of dollars or time per week/month? No, I don't. I don't actually. But honestly, my life has changed because of this podcast. The way I play games has changed so much.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, like beforehand, I definitely did. I mean, I didn't kind of try to keep to a strict. I just basically had to be a lot more choosy about games, I mean, I still am, but I was just telling Jules like that. I think that in the last month or 2 months that my physical game supply has like doubled.
Well, you're a monster. I mean, I'm just jealous, really. For me, I've never really had a budget in terms of dollars or time.
Right. Or time.
I guess, pretty much I'm a sucker. So it'd be like, oh, there's this cool Nintendo game. I'm going to buy it, And it was definitely way easier, on the Wii U and to an extent, to the 3DS. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be like, okay, maybe one or two Wii U games, like pretty much one Wii U game worth buying a month, if you were lucky. And then like the 3DS, there'd be times when a couple come out, but like for $40, they're a little cheaper and you didn't feel so bad. With the Switch, it's a little different, because we're fortunate enough with the podcast that, we're able to get codes for discussion. And then, of course, doing reviews for the site, we get codes and we do the reviews. So, that's definitely saved money in terms of a budget there. And I mean, for me now, I'm definitely more conscious. I used to be like, I got a code, but I really want that game still, like physically, where I'm sort of coming to terms like, all right, I can't be that crazy. I need to save money. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the other thing with something I realized, like when you buy physically, the reason I love buying physically whenever is that the game now has value,
Oh no,
like,
for sure.
Now
I
can sell it back, or like I can. It's so much more versatile. But yeah, anyway.
Well, yeah, for me, like I said, I mean, if I have the option, like I'm gonna spend the money on the game, I'm gonna get it physically, of course. But like I said, we're fortunate enough to be able to get codes for free sometimes from developers, and that obviously helps as far as that go. But I'm. At the end of the day, if there's a game and I really want to buy it, it's like I'm probably just gonna buy it,
Yep.
And like sometimes that's I guess like a good example would be with Starlink. In the old days, I would have bought that game, no matter I would have just been like, I'm getting it, And like now, I looked at it and I was like, well, I'm picking up Dark Souls on Friday, and like I really want to get Starlink too, but like I'm not going to be able to play both of these games as much as, so it's like I'm going to put Starlink on the back burner, whether it be a Black Friday deal that crops up or maybe a Christmas game, a gift for Christmas kind of thing. So I think, I'm definitely a little more conscious now about the spending on there, but at the end of the day, I'm a sucker, so. Yep.
That's very, very true.
Ain't it the truth, brother?
Now, question number two. What in your mind makes a game good value for the time/money? That's a really good question, because I think this completely depends on a person's lifestyle. Like how much they play and stuff. So, in my mind, what makes a game a good value is kind of the experience it offers. Like, am I having like tons of fun? Like, I think a perfect example would be Kiro Blaster or Caro Blaster. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced.
From the Cave Story guy, right?
Yeah. And that game is like, I think it's like 3 or 4 hours. 4 hours, I think, long. But I had so much fun with that game, and it was just such a fun experience. Everything combined, the art and the soundtrack, very much so, which is on a couple episodes back on Radio Trivia. They did it. It's just so good. Like, there's something about it, very inspirational to me. But just like that, I think it's a $10 game, and it's 4 hours. It's a really small game, but it's like the value of just experiencing something for the enjoyment of like that new experience, like the just like so something like I could play Sudoku for 38 hours for $8. There's like a 30 hours for if you get like Sudoku or sorry, not Sudoku, or Picross. I mean,
any of those puzzle games.
Any
of
those, and it's like
puzzles,
like obviously that is not going to stick with me. Like the value of Sudoku is great. I mean, it's a great value time wise, but like for like, it's different because like for time wise, I love how succinct like Caro Blaster is, where I got like a full experience only in like 4 hours, and so it just knew end to end. And I don't know, it just depends on it's the total production of the game that really goes for the good value, because then you have like Digger Dan DX, where it's just so much content and it's $2 on the 3DS, so it's just it's a whole different, but whereas Digger Dan DX isn't like a very like a story based, dynamically changing game that you'd have like, a more like Dead Cells, or not Dead Cells, but like any other type game. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put a value on it, but really it's the amount of fun and experience that I'm having with it is what gives me value and makes stuff memorable to me.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I guess it was more during my, like, when I'd go out to the bars kind of thing, and I'd be like, well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend $5 on a beer, And then in any given night, like, you would maybe be able to escape the bars at $40, but generally speaking, it was like, if I'm going out, I'm spending $60 to $80, right? And like
that's insane.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna have fun for the night, and then in the morning, like that'll be that, So like for me, if I was like, well, then I just like oh, I want to get a $60 game, like, well, I just won't go out this weekend because like if I go out, I'm gonna spend probably more than that, and it'll be for the one night. Where now it's like I've got this game and it's most likely going to last me a couple days, if not longer than that, So for me, it's like, I remember that was always my go-to, like, well, it's like, oh, this game is $10 and it only lasts 4 hours. I'd be like, yeah, but like I would spend $10 and that would be, I'd drink those in less than an hour, So it'd be like, so it'd be,
plus it's like,
so like I quantified it in that sense. But I mean, nowadays I remember back in like N64, it was like how long are the games? Like, oh, Final Fantasy VII is like 40 hours. Oh my God, like we need our Zelda game to be 40 hours. And now it's like I don't want 40. I mean, it's sort of,
Well, you might,
I love RPGs,
right?
which are generally longer, but like I appreciate the shorter, crisper games too, and like whether like sure I don't want to spend $60 for a game I'm going to spend 4 hours on, like that might be like a uneven balance, but like even if you spend like $20 on a game that lasts 4 or 5 hours, like that doesn't seem that bad to me.
No, exactly. But it's like, so like it's the price of a game, but it's also like the quality and production of the game and what kind of experience you're having. It's just a whole big factor, and then it's just the lasting appeal. And I just think it changes for everyone. So it's a really, Jonathan, it's a very difficult question, like, because I really don't know what makes a good value. Because it's like,
it's all
like
subjective,
value
of
in,
course.
Well, it's value in money versus value in experience, So it's exactly. Because it's like you look at like Fortnite, which I've spent $9 on,
Jimmy,
and played for
Jimmy,
200 hours, So it's like, okay, well that's just, or like Splatoon, which I paid $60 for, and played that for 500 hours. It's just like if you're counting hours as a value, then like that's crazy.
I mean, and that's why it's actually funny, because like I remember when World of Warcraft was first announced way back in the day, and I was like, oh my god, this game looks incredible. And then it was like, but it's $15 a month, and I was like, like forget that. I remember.
Yeah, that's insane.
And granted, when it announced, I was probably like 14, 13, maybe younger, around that age. So like I didn't really have like an income, so like that was like, I can't afford that. But you know how much money I saved playing World of Warcraft in college? Like an immense amount, because like my one roommate was like he was a party animal, so he'd be like, come on, let's go to the bars. Be like, yeah, I'm raiding tonight, man. Like, nah, I can't. And like that 15, and I honestly, when I was playing WoW, I wasn't playing a ton of other games. So it's like for the $15, like how many hours, like it was a bargain, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like I said, I guess it really is all in like, each different, person to see the value. But
yeah. And it's like looking back, it's like, am I happy with the amount of time I spent? Like, you know what I mean?
Like Room in the Night Sky, man, worth every penny. Although granted, I got it for review, but for like you said, the experience of like that game has been enjoyable enough to be able to continuously talk about it.
You got to review that game.
I tell you what, I thought it might have been okay.
I know you did. I was there.
Yeah, good. Good. Man, that was a crazy PAX, man. Like the Switch came out last week.
All right, now this last question, which is a lot easier to answer and fun. Number 3, what are your top 5 most played or most revisited games? How have these changed over the years?
Whew.
And he says, I'm curious as to your thoughts because so many games are out these days compared to when I started gaming, and changes to the industry with DLC and microtransactions. So, our most 5 most played or most revisited, which I guess they'll be different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, oh man, I mean, Ocarina of Time has to be one of them.
As
for most revisited,
yeah,
it has
for
to be.
me, like my Zelda game of revisitation is always been Link to the Past, because it feels like it's quick enough we could get in there.
Oh, that game is so good.
Yeah, you can get in there and play it, and it's like Ocarina of Time's would take you some time, and I wish, like, I always have the urge to want to revisit it more, and like same with Majora's Mask, which it's now way easier with the 3DS versions. But yeah, I'd say Link to the Past is like the Zelda game I revisit the most.
Yeah, that's kind of works good for, and I'd say Wind Waker.
I have not
Wind Waker.
I haven't beaten that game since my initial run through.
Crazy, yeah.
I've played
Wind
it
Waker,
again
definitely.
before.
I haven't. I've only beaten it, I think, once. I've only beaten it once.
I really want to
I've played
beat it
through
again,
it so many times.
And
but then I was gonna say my one of the biggest ones I've revisited for sure, Super Mario 3D Land. Absolutely.
All right.
Like I played through that game. I know I've played through it at least like in gold starred, triple starred, or 5-starred it like 6 times at least. I love that game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think other games I've revisited a bunch.
Yeah.
I would say like Super Mario World. like for Super Nintendo. I feel like Super Nintendo is like the sort of my like revisitation, just because like the games are really good and like they're not so long where you feel like you can get in there and like not monopolize your time completely there. I'm trying to think of what other like later games like I mean like Melee, of course, has always been a game I've played, because like my high school, I remember, in our senior lounge, they had a TV and there's always a Smash set up there. And it was a senior lounge, but like everyone just went in there and played Smash. There'd be people like in between class, like, all right, get one match in, like I'll be late to class, whatever. So like Smash, like Melee's been a game I've revisited a bunch. Trying to think. I mean, as far as what games I've played the most time, it's funny because like Diablo 2 easily, World of Warcraft easy. I used to raid like 20 hours a week, so it's like, they would tell you in like time, like you do like / played and it'd tell you how much time you played, but they told you in days, and I'm pretty sure it's like I've eclipsed like 200 days played. Like of game, like 24-hour, like ridiculousness.
You're a sick man, Cassie Gibson.
Yeah, no, that's probably the game that and Diablo, probably the two games I've played the most. I mean, because
I'd say Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing's probably up there, and that's probably a game I'd say I've revisited a bunch too.
I'd say Animal Crossing. Yeah, I played a ton of that on GameCube, DS, Wii.
I never played the Wii version
and 3DS. The Wii version is fantastic. It gets a lot of hate, but honestly,
it just didn't do too much new.
Do you know how much? Well, no, not really. But it was just so much. There was just nothing like sending like a peach and a poem to my friend in the mail and writing him a funny thing, and then getting up the next day and getting mail from the Pelican, and with a piece with a chair.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That was so much fun. And then it had the We Speak thing, which was just so funny. And it barely worked. But we got on there, and we once had 4 people on We Speak. And we were doing that from 4 different, we all went and watched KK Slider. And I loved that game. And then, of course, then moving on to New Leaf, which is just,
I think the New Leaf is sort of like the culmination. It's the best version, It's like but for me, I mean, I remember like playing the original Animal Crossing was awesome because like that's when Sandy and I. At that point, Sandy was really young, but we played it. We each had a house, like you said, leaving mail and stupid things. I remember waking up at 5 a.m. to pick mushrooms before going to school, and like.
So cute.
I hate waking up early, But like I remember Wild World was like, oh my god, we could play Wi-Fi connection.
I know.
Like
I know.
It was something else. Yeah. So I mean,
it was. I know, and you can text each other.
I mean,
that was so cool.
I cannot wait for the new Animal Crossing, dude.
I know.
It's going to be
waiting so long.
So good. It's going to be cool because like I feel like at those points it's like the original one me and Sandy played. The DS version, I think I had like 1 or 2 friends that like maybe periodically jumped in, so it'll be really, and like I feel like we became friends after sort of New Leaf like was old hat, so it'd be fun to be like, all right, we could go into each other's town, and then plus just all the staff people and just people listening that want to hang out, like.
And we'll be able to stream it.
It's going to be amazing because it's going to be perfect. But I've definitely played a lot of time in that game. I can't think off the top of my head like too many games I've put tons of time in that weren't like I said, it's for as big as the Nintendo man I am, it's like some of my most fond games are Blizzard games.
You're a sick man.
They
all
do
mine
make
are Nintendo.
A damn fine good game. Hey, now I mix both worlds, baby. My Switch and my Diablo.
There you go. My Diablo. Anyway, Jonathan Boyden, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, sir.
For emailing us. And please, send us emails, Perry@NintendoWorldReport.com or Casey or Talk Nintendo Podcast or tweet at us. Any of those things should do the trick. But we have had a very long podcast.
Yes, we have.
And we're going to have to end it.
Sadly.
Yes, that's okay because don't be
All
sad.
good
because
things
just
must
in
come
a-
to an end
in a
until
week-
next week.
Yeah, a week the most. At most is when you will hear us again, and yeah,
Perfect.
we got to go to bed.
Yeah. Well, we're recording a little early, so I got to go food shopping.
All right, sounds good.
But yes, yeah, a pleasure as always, Perry.
Yep.
And
You too.
yeah, you
Party on.
keep on being a Jimmy.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Pert.
No, party on, Cass.
Party on, Pert. It only took 100 episodes to be like, well, why don't we pick the one we like the most?
Would you say that its customability is high?
Yes, absolutely. The customability is crazy good.